Okay, here we go. Focus. Speed. I am speed.
Just let the memories fade. I can read your eyes, so don't see it on my face. I don't wanna fall, don't wanna be to blame. Every time I look, I got a picture in your face. I wanna see you. It's you, 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 the truth. Hold me down, keep my good to change. Everybody wants to feel it when it's in the lane. You flooded my brain, but it's not the same. I need to, but I can't. No, I don't wanna choose. It's you, it's you, it's you, it's you, it's you, it's you. Hold me down, yeah. I don't need no saving. I will wake up when the sun go away to make some waves. We're not the same. I can't play. I've been dead for so long now. I don't feel the change. I don't feel the change. I don't feel no pain. Yeah. Every time I get back up, it's gonna be this way. I don't feel the same. I'm feeling way up, but every time I fall right back, and all I wanna see you. It's you, 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 it's you. I don't want the truth, you can let the memories fade. I don't know why, so they say it to my face. So I learn from, just know you are to blame. Every time I look back at the faces in the frame, I don't want to see you.
The trade deadline has passed, the MLB draft has occurred, and so today we are going to start our first post-trade deadline rebuild with the Cincinnati Reds, the team that had the second overall pick in last year or this year's MLB draft. Now, we've obviously done the Guardians at this point as well, so if you've not watched that one, then you can see how the first overall pick in Travis Bazzana looks. But the Cincinnati Reds with the second overall pick this year drafted, not in the pitching rotation, pitcher Chase Burns. This is the top pitcher in the draft, played for Tennessee, the national championship winners in the College World Series. So Cincinnati adding a pitcher and kind of going after and pursuing pitching, as well as another velocity pitcher, is going to give us kind of an outlook of what we want to try doing this rebuild. And in that, we start to look at what this core could be and what this core has. So they have a lot of very, very interesting talent on Cincinnati. One thing about MLBTheShow and Cincinnati is that often they make some very, very large free agent signings because they have cash to spend. 60 million, in fact, right now. And when Junis is gone, even more. So because of that extra cash, they often spend a lot of money pretty early. Now, we don't want to do that in the same way. A lot of times, because of their, free money that they have to work with, they put themselves in a situation in the game where they don't re-sign a lot of the talent that they have on the roster. So one thing that we want to do in our rebuild is our goal is going to be to keep this team together. It's a very young core. It's a very interesting young core, in fact. And so we have a lot of really interesting players to build around. Tyler Stevenson is one of the older guys, but you've got Christian Encarnacion, who's young and good. Matt McClain, Jonathan India, the former, did he win Rookie of the Year? Yeah, he did. Rookie of the Year in 2021. You have Noelvi Marte, you have Cam Collier, you have Elly De La Cruz as the core guy, as well as you still got Edwin Arroyo. And not many outfielders, but a lot of very, very interesting players. And so one of our goals with this rebuild is going to be to keep this team together and spend that money on these players especially. It's an interesting thing to consider that basically our job for this rebuild is to do as little as possible and just try to not make the mistakes as the computer. But it is something that I want you to be aware of, is that eventually we are going to run out of money. Like, this team does not have an infinite budget like a New York team or an LA team. So we are going to be tightly put right up on the top of that budget. We're going to have to sign guys as early as possible to try to get them locked up, so that way we can keep them. Now, because the job of this is just to keep this team together, I want to add myself a few challenges in regards to this, because I don't want to be stuck with just keeping this team together and not doing anything interesting and not signing any free agents and not being able to add draft picks, etc., etc. So the challenge that we are going to put to ourselves is we are going to focus on power pitching. Position players, much less, because we already kind of have that positional core. But when it comes to draft picks, free agents, trades, our focus is getting high velocity, high power type of pitchers. Now, Cincinnati is known for this. They've got guys like Cueto and Aroldis Chapman in the past, and currently you have a pitcher like Hunter Green, who does not have outlier on this actually, but is a power pitcher, throws really, really fast, high velocity, and I wish we could see his ERA right now of like 2.8 or whatever it is currently, IRL. And then you got guys like Alexis Diaz, who also very, very high power pitching. And so because of this, and then you can see like Chase Burns, I believe it just said he had a 99 velocity. So velocity is our target goal. There you go. Julian Aguilar, 99 velocity. Just like saying it, and there's all of a sudden guys that are like that. So because of this, we are going to pursue in our draft picks high velocity. This also means that because this is our pursuing goal, we want to try to avoid drafting players that don't have high velocity. So our challenge, and the way we're going to focus on drafting and scouting and all that, is that any pitcher that we draft must have a green or blue potential rating in the velocity department. If they do not have that, we are not allowed to draft them. What that means for a challenge is that if there is not a lot of high velocity pitchers, we have to take position players. Normally that's not a bad thing. Normally position players are harder to come by, but in Cincinnati, we already have a ton of position players. We have no need to get more position players. So it becomes a punishment in this type of rebuild where you have as many guys as we do. So thinking about that, we also need to consider then what ratings you want to value if you're going with high velocity. High velocity is a strikeout type thing, so we'll also be pursuing guys with high K per 9 too. So high strikeout pitchers, high velocity pitchers, and with the position players, I would like to get at least one MVP with this team. Now, obviously, the main guy that you would think about with that is Elly, who is definitely got that type of power potential to hit a lot of home runs. Now, we still need to see some progression, especially against lefties with him in order to be able to get there. And I hope that he steals a lot of bases too. You can see that I already added a long contract extension to him before we even started. I just signed him for 12 years, $240 million. I just wanted to get him as long as possible, so that I wouldn't have to pay him $39 million when it gets to the top. It's just signing a guy that I know is going to be around the whole time. So Elly De La Cruz is the core focus of this rebuild. But also you have those core focuses of like a Hunter Green and a Chase Burns and the pitching staff too. So because of that, and because of that look, I want you to think about, like, when we do this draft or when we do this rebuild, we are still going to be attempting to win World Series, as we always do. We need to get our World Series before we end. But how many can we win while we keep this team together before it starts to fall apart? Often, I feel like we're going to run into budgetary constraints around 2028, 2029. And so if we could win one by then, that would be optimal. But I don't necessarily know if that's going to be possible, knowing that a lot of the guys are still a little bit away. Elly is ready at 84, so in the next 2-3 years, he will be set. But guys like Marte, even India, and then you talk about Cam Collier and all the other players that we have are going to take a little bit longer to get to that point of being actually valuable. Now, just to remind people, if they are not aware of what all moves that Cincinnati made at the deadline, they traded away relief pitcher Lucas Sims for Ovis Portis, a pitching prospect from the Boston Red Sox. Now, I don't think he's in this, so maybe I should go quick find him and make him or something like that, because he's not in here, because he is an interesting pitching prospect. But however, they got Davis Wenzel on just a cash deal from Texas. They got Ty France from Seattle in a deal for Andrew Salcedo. And then the biggest deal they made was Frankie Montas. They got Jacob Junis and platoon bat Joey Weimer, who could be something interesting, but we've seen him used a couple rebuilds, especially in like the Milwaukee one. He just doesn't really end up being much. They also did trade away Levon Soto and Austin Slater for a player to be named later from Baltimore, but maybe we'll just go talk to Baltimore later and just grab a prospect off of them for something in order to make that deal something, because it's not very valuable players. We also have our draft picks, Chase Burns, who was the second overall pick, and there's some other guys like Mike Sirota was a pick that they made, I believe, in the 3rd round. Tyson Lewis, a 2nd round pick. So there's a couple players that they've drafted that are on this roster that we will be able to see develop as well. That's kind of the fun thing about post-draft, because we don't know any of these guys yet. We haven't really seen any of these players. We are also using a new roster. This is the roster that we are using. I modified it a little bit because I did need to move some players that the roster failed to move, but otherwise, yeah. This is our roster, and this is what we have. So with that in mind, we have the 2nd overall pick in the draft. If we do not have a high velocity pitcher, then, well, we're not going to be drafting a pitching. So we'll probably be drafting a position player. And the reason that velocity thing kind of sucks is because imagine if we do get one of these beautiful, like, hits per 9, walks per 9 pitchers that I absolutely love, and then he looks like Greg Maddux. I can't have him. So, yeah. Anyways, that will be it for, like, our setup. We will see you at the draft. This team is not going to be good. We are not going to be a playoff team. I mean, this is a team that's sold at the deadline, so this is not necessarily a good team. We're just focused on player development going into the 2025 season. So let's just see what we can, what we can get out of our guys this season. And so, starting with our second rendition of the 2024 amateur MLB draft. First off, at the 2nd pick, we are set no matter how this goes. Gary Bright is the best player in this draft. He's a position player. He's a 3rd baseman. We don't need that, but he's the best player in this draft. You take that if he's there at pick 2. And the 2nd pick is a power pitcher. Exactly what we were looking for. He is the best pitcher in this draft. So we either are getting the best player or the best pitcher. Now, the other part about this that is a little disappointing that I want to show, I can't show everything, but like, okay, so we got some other good pitchers here. I can't show all of them. I found so many really, really good relievers and starters in this draft, but most of them didn't have high velocity. So we're going to miss out on a lot of really, really talented pitchers. You'll probably see them available later on in the draft. So let's see who they take. Do they take Bright or do they take Rushing? Take Bo Fletcher, who is also very, very good. All right, we're going to take Gary Bright. I know Peter Rushing is what we need more than anything, but you can't not take the best player in the draft. Unless your name is the Cleveland Guardians GM. Yes, they did not. They're going to take Peter Rushing? Yeah. Okay. So now this is where it gets interesting. Our next pick is pick 50. And let's just take a look. So Chauncey Fisher is still there. So like this is an example. This is a pitcher that I would take every time. 87 to 97, 51 to 61 overall. I can't have him. Juan Ariano, I might take him because he could be in that pitching velocity range, but I will wait. Same thing with Salazar. Like these two guys are like my favorite types of prospects. Non-ranked pitchers with decent stats. Now, obviously, this guy has no strikeout potential, so we will see. Oh, Murillo's good too. No, I think we have to take Murillo because he's 51 to 57 here. Like, he could be there. Okay, so do we take Murillo or Chauncey Fisher? 72 to 91 potential. No, we gotta go with Murillo. He's just safer. All right, our next pick is pick 71. And now see, now you have these guys who are still here. All the guys that I like, that I can't necessarily say that I can have. So many good pitchers in this draft. So many good pitchers in this draft that I can't take because of the velocity limit that we're putting on ourselves. Now, other positions that are interesting are this center fielder, Forrest Betts, brother of Mookie Betts. Or Owen Barrett, just higher potential ratings. I think we should take the outfielder. Oh, but Ian Finnegan is better. He has no secondaries, though. Ian Finnegan, or do we go Reynaldo Nunez, who at least has a left fielder secondary? Well, we can wait for him. So I think we have to go either Betts. Doesn't really have a bat. Does Finnegan at least have a bat? Finnegan has a bat. We'll draft Ian Finnegan. All right, we are going to take one of these two pitchers if they do not fall. So when we draft him, because it looks like the potential rating is the same as the thing, if his velocity is not over 70 when we get him, or let's say it's not 70, like 72 maybe, for either of these guys. Oh, which one's better? Be honest. Probably Salazar because of the lefty. He's also more likely to be okay. So that's our one guy that is kind of breaking. I mean, I can get both of them. So that's the one guy that's kind of breaking our rules, but not like too bad. I'm going to say that 72 to 77 as a reliever with walks per 9 and hits per 9 like that. Maybe I just take him? What pick are we at? 121? Let's wait. Luriano's interesting. Josh Thorpe. Oh. Velocity. Yes. Sorry. I forgot what we were doing. Okay. And that means that now basically I just take what I can. Was that reliever still there? Please? No? He's gone. Shouldn't have. No, he's not. There he is. And one more guy. No one? None of these guys could even be anything? Well, you could. You could too. You're a reliever. You're harder to do. Howie Iverson. Okay. So the one pitcher in the third round, I already forgot what his name is, Salazar. So if Salazar does not hit like a 72 velocity, we will trade him as soon as possible. So I'll write that down as a note for myself. And so taking a look at our draft picks, Gary Bright, 94 potential. And at third base, I mean, yeah. This is exactly the type of player I like. High vision, high contact. He's not a good defensive player. This might just be our DH, if anything. So if that fills our DH spot, that's going to make things interesting. But say he's our DH because he just can't play defense. Murillo, great pick, 78 velocity, 90 potential. He's already 23, so he's a little bit closer, but good walks per 9, good hits per 9, good Ks per 9. I like Finnegan already. He's a little further away, but once again, high contact, interesting player. Salazar does have 73 velocity. That is technically yellow. You know what? Maybe we should just trade him anyways. I shouldn't like game the system. We're just gonna trade him. There was just nothing there, so I feel like I broke my rule already, which I feel bad for. So I'm gonna trade Salazar, anyways. 92 potential though, so we'll see how great he ends up being, but we're trading him right away. Silva, meh. High walks per 9 at least. High velocity. He's a power pitcher. I'll take it. Just meh. Albrecht was 75. Good velocity. That's a great relief pitcher. And Howie Iverson, good relief pitcher. So 2 good relievers. Silva will be interesting. Salazar will be a trade piece. And then Bright and Murillo will actually be core members of this roster in the future. But for Bright, it's not that far away. So we'll have to find a trade piece for Adrian Salazar. I'm going to write that down as a thing we have to do. By the way, we're 69-41. We are leading this division. And it's all coming down to a fantastic pitching staff this season, really. Hunter Green's our worst pitcher. Everybody else, Graham Ashcraft isn't that good, but like Andrew Abbott, Nick Lodolo, Jacob Junis, yeah. Kind of crazy. So this is supposed to be a rebuilding year, but 105-57. We win the division for the first time since 2012. And the 1 seed. I'll take it, I guess. All right, so looking at award winners, Shohei Ohtani wins the MVP with Elly De La Cruz in second. Second already? I don't see how this is really second place MVP numbers. He struck out 174 times. Okay. At 873. How is this second MVP numbers? I'll take it. I guess it's the RBIs because we got so many. Or maybe just the NL was just bad. Because Shohei only hit 289 and won MVP. Freddie Peralta wins the Cy Young. On the AL side, Mike Trout wins the MVP. And Garrett Cole wins the Cy Young. Yeah, I'm a little lost on that. That didn't make any sense to me why he was that good. Okay. Nick Lodolo leads and wins. Alexis Diaz with saves. We did have 2 high average hitting guys with India and Stevenson. Maybe it's just down numbers all across the board. Maybe that's part of this roster. Just nobody really has high numbers. Could be. Yeah, that threw me off. Sorry if I feel like one, I don't think this is a 105 win team, and 2, how was he at second in the MVP already in 2024? Okay, Hunter Green 465 was kind of our worst pitcher here, but everybody else, Jacob Junis 299 113. ERA, Lodolo was really good. Were any of these guys even not a single all-star though? 404. Great bullpen. Alexis Diaz was the all-star. A potential. He goes up to A potential. Let's go. Was an all-star, had 50 saves. We moved them back to the relief, to the closer role. They had Fernando Cruz, I think, technically in this spot. But no, we are going Alexis Diaz. Bullpen will need a little bit of reworking because these guys are old. And oh my god, and I think he's like $13 million. So we'll figure out a little bit of the pitching staff going into this next season, but let's look at the lineup. First off, Ty France gets sent down. 290 on base, not very good. Oh my god, $6.8 million. Yeah, we're not bringing him back. Anybody else? I think I had Tony Kemp up. And not for long enough to make it matter. Okay, MLB level. 2-4 for Heimer Candelario. Oh, yikes from Luke Melee. Noel from Marte. I sent him down. He was doing really, really bad. I sent him down. He didn't come back up. But 198, not very good. 253 from Fairchild. 220 from Reese Hines. These bats don't look that good. Oh, B potential for Jake Fraley. Okay, all right. I think Fraley is a platoon with Weimer. Yeah, because with Weimer's at 270. So I think that's a platoon right there. So one of the outfield spots for now is just going to be Fraley and Weimer, that right field spot. And with Fraley getting better potential and knowing Weimer has higher potential, that's a nice, interesting platoon between the two of them. He's on arbitration. He's on renewable contracts. All right, DJ Friedel, 279, 259 from Steer, 260 in your second place MVP race for Elly De La Cruz, 312 for Jonathan India, who I like. I like me some Jonathan India. 394 on base percentage. Like, this feels like a better season than what Elly did. What WAR did he get? 4.6? 6.3? That could also just be from the position. Matt McClain, he was in the minors in the beginning of the season. Oh, he's at A potential now. Wow. Okay. The development is insane for us right now. 272 in the second half of the season that he did well. Outfield needs work. This could also be your platoon bat with Weimer. And then Stevenson was good. Who did they... Oh, yeah. France was the guy who got sent down. So let me adjust this lineup. I'll get France back up. I need to figure out... Can anybody else play first? No. Steer can. All right. We'll figure out how we're going to do this. All right, so we have the Atlanta Braves for the first round of the playoffs. They don't have Spencer Strider due to the injuries. So Hunter Green versus Ronaldo Lopez in Game 1. That's a loss. Andrew Abbott versus Bryce Elder in Game 2. That is a win. Game 3, Lodolo versus Chris Sale. That is a win. Ashcraft versus Max Fried in Game 4. That is a win. We have advanced. We are playing the Padres in round 2. We're just going to keep it with Junis because Junis has actually been our best pitcher. Junis versus Cease. That is a loss. I shouldn't have said that. Hunter Green versus Michael King in Game 2. That is another loss. Looks like a bullpen loss in that one. Oh, yeah. 3 in the 8th. I think that's all from, Fernando Cruz. So, all right. That's rough. We're down 2-0. And now we have Abbott versus Waldron. 8-1 victory as we light up Matt Waldron. Lodolo versus Glenn Otto. That's a 1-3 loss. We're down 3-1. 7-5. Jake Junis versus Michael King. 7-2. That's year 1. Sorry for everybody who's like, oh, I wanted to win the World Series right now. Sorry. Rangers defeat the Padres in the 2024 World Series. They go back to back. Manny Machado, Corey Seager. We just made it to Game 7 of the NLCS in the first season, doing nothing. All right. Well, we got to clean up our bullpen, our pitching staff, and I need to trade away Salazar. So, see you in the offseason. So this is how we're going to do the Salazar deal. This is going to be our player to be named later from the Orioles. It's Rafael Rios, who is a 99 velocity pitcher, who has B potential. So technically they are getting a better player in Salazar. I also had to throw in Lyon Richardson because they wouldn't take him straight up because of the rating, but they owe us. Now, I saw this guy because of a tweet talking about this prospect, Javier Sanoa, who has basically he strikes out half as much as he walks. It's an insane stat. And for me, I look at him as a guy who could be really, really interesting in getting on base. He came up for Miami in this because of his rating boost because of that. I want him really badly, and knowing that we are going to be competitive in this season now, because apparently we were competitive last season, I want to capitalize on him. I'm going to trade away some good prospects. Now Blake Dunn is just to throw this in so that way I could get something back and get Kyle Stowers as well, but we're going to give him Shengen Lin, who's a good prospect, and Sal Stewart, 2 really good prospects in here for Miami, because I want this Javier Sanoa guy badly. I think he'd be really fun if he ends up being as big of an on-base machine as he looks like. I also want to get a 5th pitcher, and Carson Spears I don't think is going to be that guy simply because he has the D potential rating, and I know Aaron Ashby isn't, but for now he could be a starter in that 5th spot, and then he could move to a relief role for the rest of his contract. 99 velocity, his highest stat is Ks per 9. Now he does look more like a reliever than anything, but I just, I feel like you could. I just want to try him in this sense. If we're going for velocity and Ks per 9. He might be the perfect guy to fit this system. And so to start our 2025 season, we made a lot of changes this offseason. A lot of it working around the edges in order to try to make this team work and function. And the way that it ends up looking like is in the pitching staff, we've kind of changed the entire rotation. The first 4 guys, Hunter Green, Abbott, Lodolo, and Ashcraft, are staying. I was unable to bring back Jacob Junis. He signed with the Yankees. And they paid him a lot more than I was willing to pay him. And so Ashby is in that 5th spot as the 5th starter. Sixto Sanchez, I got in the Rule 5. I always like grabbing him. He has some potential to be interesting, and we just need to hold on to him for 1 year. If we hold on to him for 1 year, I can make him into a reliever, put him in the bullpen, nobody else will take him. That's kind of the thought. Brandon Williamson's going to be up this year because I won another pitcher in that spot, and I think that he could be valuable. That's also a lefty in the bullpen. And so then we have TJ Antone, who's going to be up. Jorge Lopez, I got off waivers. Santillan is going to come up. I couldn't send him down. He got claimed, so I had to keep him up. So he has to stay up this year. And then we brought in Jeff Hoffman, who is a pitcher that I see generally perform pretty well for Philly. And so I just wanted to see if we could get similar production for us. Actually, what I should do is this. So there's only one setup guy there. And then I'm going to move Santillan up here, actually. That way these guys get used more. And then Jorge Lopez, who, by the way, gave up 0 hits or 0 runs last season for Chicago. That's why I wanted him. So that's our pitching staff. Lineup-wise, it's a little messy. We got a lot of platooning going on. But the big changes that we have are Sanoa is going to be up here. He's going to play center and then DH, depending on the lineup. Just on base machine last season, 431 on base percentage. I want to see that happen for us too. Spencer Steer will be first. Rowdy Tellez is his backup. We got Tom Murphy to be our backup catcher this season. And then the other moves were, no, that's pretty much it. Because then, Rowdy Tellez and everything. I do also have Kyle Lewis. I have Wenzel, Kyle Stowers down here, Mike Yastrzemski down here. So we have a couple interesting players down in the minors that could come up if anybody is underperforming. I also do think there's a very good chance we regress down to the mean this next year. I don't think we're going to perform as well. That bullpen performance last year was insane. So this could be a really, really bad season for us. So we'll just kind of see how it all goes. I think if we look at top prospects, Boston has Bazana and Bazayo. How? Okay. All right. Lots of trades then, I guess. Well, Burns is the 5th best prospect, and Gary Bright's the 11th. Starting the 2025 draft, we found actually a lot of high velocity, very interesting pitchers in this draft. I went like full on. We're scouting every reliever we can, every pitcher that we can. But because we made such a deep run last year, we don't have as high of a pick. It's kind of the side effect. I actually would have liked to have been in a bad position this past year, like not into the playoffs, higher pick. But I think there's some guys like William Cho, Cy Coley, like you can see a lot of these velocity guys that could be a bit, oh, they're gone, so never mind. That could be interesting as players to draft. So first off, let's just view all, because there are some guys like here where like this is a top end guy I would normally get, but I cannot in this case. So Gary Martinez, high walks per 9, could end up being the best player here. But I also think that let's value that non-ranked position, because like there's so many of them that I kind of want to stash a few of them away for potential later picks. Jim Reagan is a very safe pick, who is almost a guaranteed. It's like a guaranteed lock to be a good pitcher, though. Like this guy is going to be a good pitcher. And already kind of is. But I don't need that. Really? Do I? If I have Hunter Green, Lodolo, Ashcraft, Chase Burns is on the way. Do we need a safe pick? So do we go safe or risky? That's always the fun question. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to go safe, actually, in this one. And the reason is I think that there's a chance we could get one of those riskier guys later. So we're going to take our first pick, be safe with Jim Reagan. Look, see, all these guys are still available. The question is, which one do we want? Reyes, Drew. Just kind of looking at their hits per 9. I think Reyes is probably the more interesting one. of these three. So we're going to go with Theodore Reyes with this second pick. So we've drafted 2 pitchers. I want Juan Ramirez, and we're going to get Juan Ramirez. So that was the third guy I wanted. Non-ranked, 40th ranked pitcher. Look at Gary Martinez is still here. Now, there's some other players that I also looked at that I want to make sure. As we are at pick 105. I will probably take that shortstop with the next pick. Were there any relievers on my board yet? Because I knew there were a lot of relievers I had on my board. But I think most of them are gone besides Welsh. So we're going to go... high potential, Gary Martinez. Foreman. And I guess we're going Hemphill? Okay. And what do we got with this one? Is there anything that we can draft? Oh, wow. No. I guess Owen Miller is my only choice. 28 velocity. Owen Miller. All right, we drafted a lot of pitchers. I want a backup catcher that is better than what Tom Murphy has given us, and he's not like great, but he's on the trade block. Sam Huff. We're gonna give him pitching prospect Andrew Taylor and catching prospect Matthew Nelson. We're also going to sell off Mike Yastrzemski for 3 relieving prospects, including Howie Iverson, who I don't know how they got from us. I mean, that says Rule 5, but I don't understand how they got him from us. Or no, that's a AA All-Star. What? I don't know. Why? So I think the draft went exactly how we would have wanted. Jim Reagan was a safer pick. And then you got your more risky picks in Reyes and Martinez, and both of them end up having higher potential ratings. I mean, yeah, we're going to get Reagan early. We're going to see these guys later. Now, this is the thing. The hits per 9 is not good. Also, the stamina is not. That's a long reliever, maybe. We'll see on Gary Martinez. Foreman, 93 potential. That's kind of good. And then Ramirez is only 85 potential, but, you know, that's not that bad. Was there any guys that we were looking at that we didn't take? I think it was just up another pitcher, but nothing that I feel bad about. Yeah. Not mad at any of the picks. 88 and 74, we take the division title in the NL Central, which not that hard. It's the NL Central. But hey, we take that. We have an award winner. Batting title to Jonathan India. That's a big one. Mookie Betts wins the MVP on the NL side. On the AL side, it's Juan Soto with the Minnesota Twins, who gets the and then the Cy Young's to Bailey Ober of the Minnesota Twins. Dylan Cease with the Cy Young on this side, but batting title hit 324 for India. So yeah. Oh my God, Riley Green's already doing this. Also, so I had to take a look because we saw the Bazana thing, and then I went and I looked and I saw Jason Churio here on the Marlins. So the Guardians, who you can see, they have a reliever of the year candidate. They have an MVP candidate in Jose Ramirez. They traded away the entire farm. And in doing so, I don't know what's going on. Normally, I don't see as many trades as I have in this. Maybe it's just post-trade deadline. Now these rosters are going to be traded a little bit more. So they traded away. I don't know what they traded for Lane Thomas. I didn't even see what that deal was. But Bazana was traded for Connor Wong. And Churio was traded for Xavier Edwards. And the Xavier Edwards deal is, okay, whatever. Connor Wong for Travis Bazana? I'm glad I'm on the NL side so I don't have to deal with Boston. Because, yikes. You know, all that for a 4 seed. And you gave that to Boston. Anyways, so League leaders, he led the league in batting average on the NL side. Hits 200 for bets. He had 190 for us. Home run leader was Mike Trout on the AL side and Mookie on the NL side. So let's take a look at our rotation. Everything. Hunter Green, 413, 376, Lodolo. Pitching rotation is pretty good. They moved a lot of guys here. They sent a lot of guys down. Sixto they sent down. He had a 385. He was a fantastic long reliever. They sent down... I sent down him. Santien, 512. Wasn't really that valuable. Jorge Lopez gave up 0 runs for a second straight. He hasn't given up a run since 2023. They sent him down. I'm a little lost by that send down. We're going to have to fix that. This is going to be a mess. Lineup wise, they sent down Rowdy, who had 274, 392 on base percentage. We will bring him back. I actually tried to sign him in free agency. And then he got waived, and I picked him up anyways. So, worked out pretty well there. I don't think anybody else here. I sent down Tom Murphy because he was bad. That was why we made the trade for Sam Huff. All right, Candelario, 286. Very good season for him. He's got one more year left at this $15 million mark. I mean, man, he is expensive. To think that this got him that much money is kind of crazy to me. 422? Okay. I called him up before September when we made all the trades, like at the deadline. And he had 422. What's that OPS look? 1,200. 2.4 WAR in only 30 games. All right. Marte, you have made your spot at the major league level. Sam Huff, 301. Hines wasn't up. Weimer was bad. Okay. India was great for us. Benson, 247. Not very good. Spencer Steer, 243. I think that's a regression. I think he was at... No, it's progression. I thought he was at 87. I was thinking of somebody else. Now, De La Cruz went down in overall this year. He had a bad season. 25 home runs was, I mean, for him. 233 average, 309 on base. He did not have a good year. Kind of a, 17 errors. Yikes. Okay. So, something wrong with Elly. Matt McLean wasn't very good. 7 errors, 0.5 WAR. Sanoa was, I think he's right now, he's a quadruple A player. So I brought him up. I wanted him on the majors because that seemed insane, right? That 431 on base. So I brought him up. He was really, really bad in the first half of the season. I sent him down to the minors. He was on base percentage 400, average 300. I brought him back up. He did get a little bit better. That contact is just probably not enough for pitchers, but discipline 99, vision 90. He's already like legit there. Stevenson was a little disappointing. Fraley was good, but I think his potential went down. I thought I saw earlier. And then Friedel was all right. I mean, he's the same thing he was the last 2 seasons. At least that's consistency. We'll take it. You know what? We'll take it. I have to fix the pitching rotation. And then we have to play the Phillies. Yeah. Let's put, I mean, I don't think we're going to make a run this year because I just don't think the bats are good enough. But let's get a little postseason experience for a lot of these young guys. Okay, and so starting the first playoff series here against Philadelphia. We have Green, Abbott, and Lodolo going to go against Wheeler, Nola, and Suarez. This is obviously, we are in a mismatch situation, so let's just see what we can do. Hunter Green gets lit up in 4 innings in Game 2, Abbott versus Nola. We do win that one, 1-0. How'd we get that run? First inning, probably like a homer. Just a double from Spencer Steer and a double from Elly De La Cruz. So back-to-back doubles from those two. Okay, Lodolo versus Suarez. That's a 1-5 loss. So we don't get through this one. And the Phillies do eventually go on to win the World Series over the Boston Red Sox, who, thanks to the Guardians, are going to be an absolute superpower this entire rebuild. So Phillies do win this. AL side, it is Rafael Devers. They got JD Martinez back. So, postseason or off season, I think we just keep this team together, and I'll kind of operate around the margins with the bullpen and everything again. Going into the 2026 season, we made only a minor set of changes for the most part. We switched Ashcraft and Ashby for now, just so I could have a lefty in the bullpen, because otherwise it was righty, lefty, 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 and then all righties in the bullpen. We got Joel Payamps off of waivers. Otherwise, the bullpen is Jorge Lopez, Hoffman. We let some of the expensive guys go, like Pagan and all that. So, stick drift. Stick drift. Stop it. Okay. So, pitching rotation, like I said, on the minor side, you can see, like, we've got a lot of bullpen arms now that are kind of close and ready to go. So it'll be interesting once they actually are all up and starting. Because of that, we basically have room for, letting go of some of these arms eventually. When you talk about Ashby and Ashcraft and Williamson, in order to make room for Burns and Lauder and all of the other guys that are on their way. Lineup wise, MLB, we made no changes. The only difference is that Marte is going to be starting at third. I'm going to make sure Sonoya is playing. If he does not, if he has another bad start, we're just going to move. I have in order to make that space, like Stowers is down here, Hines is down here, Candelario's down here. All of them could end up making some of the space needed if we need to move anything around. The only platoon now is the Weimer and Fraley platoon. And Fraley's potential did go down, so this is the last year with Fraley. I am thinking that it depends, obviously, on some of these outfield guys. I like Friedel, but, if we don't see any major, improvements from any of the other guys that are on their way, like Cam Collier and Carlos Jorge and Stowers. I mean, Stowers might be the guy who comes up next year just to be safe, and Encarnacion is another example. But we got a lot of guys that need to come up soon. Bright will probably be in AAA by the end of the season, and then we'll see him in spring training next year. I'm going to need to make some room. So it's an interesting lineup because I don't think the outfield is set. I think it's got some interesting pieces. Friedel is there. I signed Steer just for 4 more years here. He was cheap. He's in his arbitration years, but I figured that if we get him for this, we can get 1 year free agency out and steal a year of free agency just in case. And maybe he's out. I'm not necessarily certain. We've got so many assets here on this team that it's going to be really difficult to manage which ones stay and which ones go. The only ones that I feel like are a lock in the pitching rotation are Green and Lodolo. I could sign Abbott as well, but these 3, and then obviously Alexis Diaz, who I signed to an extension as well. So that's kind of our team for the next several seasons. I think we need a big improvement from Elly this year. I put him even in as DH here because he was so poor defensively that I want him to play defense half the time this upcoming season. So we'll see what we need to do. I'm hoping this team's competitive. I'm hoping we can get a good draft pick. But I'm also afraid of a big regression, just knowing that we've had some overperforming from a lot of our bullpen guys and our pitching. That, we're kind of due for an absolute collapse somewhere. Or I could be completely wrong, and Marte, De La Cruz, McLean all end up being studs this season, and we're back to 100 wins. So I guess we'll see. See you at the draft. Starting the MLB draft, we are in a position where I felt like this draft was one of these where our velocity problem, or going after that velocity, is actually going to hurt us a lot. While I do think there's some really good top end talent here, like Andreas Pena, who I hope is still available for us, but probably won't be at pick 23. I can still hope. There were a lot of really, really good pitchers, relievers, starters who had low velocity in this draft. A lot of these finesse pitchers. So there's a good chance we might not do as well. in this draft compared to some previous ones, but I can still hope that that we can get some of these top end guys in this class. I also did pursue a few positions that I think that we are a little weak on, that being catcher primarily, because while I have Stevenson locked up for a while, also that was the top 3. Yikes. Okay, great. Pena went 9, so shows you just how this draft class was. Like, this is what I meant. Sammy Castilla, very interesting. 70 to 75, we're not taking him. Alvarez, good, not taking him. You know, a lot of guys here that are very good but low velocity, and that means that we can't have them. So it is what it is. It's just kind of how sometimes I feel like drafts can go. Like Tom Vernon there, another interesting one. I think what we're gonna do is I have 2 choices here. Martin Lynch, who's kind of a low tier pitcher. Johnny Field, who is a catcher, who I honestly didn't expect to still be here. We need catchers, so I think we're gonna go with Johnny Field, just because we do need more catchers in our system. We only have like 2. So, and look, Martin Lynch is still there with our next pick. There's a couple other interesting guys that we could get, including Pedro Cisneros, who's very, very high velocity. And he's 18. Cisneros or Lynch? Lynch is safe. You know what? We went safe last year. Let's try Cisneros. We're going to take Pedro Cisneros. I know, honestly, the rest of these picks, I didn't think there was much impressive in this class, to be honest. So I'm just going to go through and kind of draft guys that I think might have a shot of actually being decent for us. And we got a lot of guys who are not ranked. We did discovery a lot in this class, so there's a good shot we can get a good amount of decent guys here. So 66, I don't have him scouted very well. I have Richard scouted, but he's not as good. Let's go Rico Cortez. And I want to make sure I get a reliever that's good here. I'm going to go with Alonso Fernandez. And then Ken Richards, Samuel Merritt. Samuel Merritt's 18, but we don't have him fully scouted. I'm going to go Ken Richards. This is our safe pick. David Doe's gone. Samuel Merritt. And with our last pick, I guess Jim Knox. Is there anybody else who's interesting who's still available? Probably not anybody who I can take yet. Yeah, I guess we'll take Jim Knox. So, not really a crazy, no top end guys in this class, but, you know, maybe something valuable, I guess. Ashby has been quite horrible this season, and so we're going to trade him away right now. Not a guy who I really originally thought about trading away, but I saw Luis Patino off of the Rule 5 was sitting at a 2.8 ERA on last place Oakland, and while it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for them to make a big trade like this, he's a Rule 5 player, and, you know, I think that Ashby could probably be more valuable for them, especially because they don't have starters. And so I'm going to give them Ashby. They have got 2 years, 3 years of team control for him, and we are going to get 2 relievers in return in this deal. Yeah, so this is probably going to go down as one of our worst drafts I think we've ever had. And honestly, I even talked about that a little bit going into it. And I'm glad there's no like busts. But a 78 potential catcher is not necessarily what you want to see with your first pick. Cisneros is 79. Cortez, I mean, it's all right. A lot of the later picks are all right, especially because there were relievers in there. But yeah, it wasn't really one of those top end drafts where I felt like there was a whole lot that I could see. I actually looked at this guy, but I never scouted him, and I wish that I did. But yeah, we could have done better. be honest. And like I see like Cloven here was a guy I scouted that I could have taken. That was a little bit better. Arturo was a guy that I scouted that I could have taken. That was a little bit better. So, yeah, we missed on some guys. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any, like, really badly in any of these pitchers that I had on my board, but, no, it doesn't really look like it. Sean Richard maybe was on, I think he was on my board. Pena was good. But if this is, like, the 6th ranked guy in the class, like, it's not a very good class. And that was the 1st overall pick? Yeah, this might have just been a bad draft. And then, yeah, this was actually like the best player, and this was a that I liked, and I just couldn't take him because of the velocity thing. So, yeah, you know, not a good draft from us, but thankfully it wasn't a very good class all. Oh, hello, Herman Goldie. 78 and 84. We missed the postseason, sadly. I think I was looking throughout most of the season. We were sitting around 500, and we really had some struggles with pitching all year. I actually don't think our lineup did that poorly, but our pitching was pretty bad. Now, we do have an award winner. Hank Aaron Award for Elly De La Cruz, and an MVP for Elly De La Cruz. Now, I hope it's not one of those, like, joke ones that he almost had earlier. No, that's a legit MVP. 326, 44 home runs. Wow. Big boost against lefties this season. Playing 162 games was big. 213 hits, 53 doubles, 14 triples, 44 home runs. 1. OPS. How much WAR? 9.4. Yeah. Yeah. That's what we like to see. So this year was where he was the runner-up for MVP, and this year he was the MVP. So I do think that there was some merit here. Maybe I was a little bit doubting it. The 39 and 39 was just kind of a lower stat line than normal. Now this is an MVP season, 100%. So it also strikes out a little bit much, but yeah, okay. So we got an MVP for Elly De La Cruz, and we still got him locked up. Yeah, that's what we'd like to see. MVP in the AL, Juan Soto, Julio in 2nd. Cy Young goes to Spencer Strider and George Kirby. No, I did see. Okay, all right. Alexis Diaz was in this race for a while, so I was kind of hoping, but it doesn't happen. League leaders, probably just Elly. RBIs, hits, walks for India, slugging for De La Cruz, and OPS for Elly. Also got close to getting to the batting average, the batting title as well, but he loses to Wilson Contreras. And an insane season from Jerks and Profar. This is a type of guy where, like, I would totally sign him if I didn't have a lot of space, if I didn't have so many guys on this team. Looks like our offense must not have been that bad. Okay, so first I want to look at the standings. Yeah, 800. We were the best offense in the Central. Our defense was just poor. I mean, we had a plus run differential, so we lost a lot of games there. But looking at the NL wild card, yeah, we had the best offense. I just see 800. I saw how many at bats we were getting, and that meant that, like, we had to have been doing something crazy offensively. But, like, legitimately, we were the 2nd best offensive team in the entire NL, and we didn't make the playoffs. And that's probably why. Hunter Green, 5.4 ERA, 2.84 for Andrew Abbott, who was decent. Lodolo, 4.76. I brought up Louder. I put him in the starting lineup because he was pitching with like a 2 ERA in the minors. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have. Patino was pretty good since we brought him in. Williamson was not. 2.79. Ooh, Hoffman, not good. I might trade him in the offseason. That's pretty bad. Cruz was pretty bad too. He's still got arbitration. I'll probably just let him walk. Diaz was good though. 41 saves, 6 blown saves. Very good reliever for us now that we have him locked up long term. Who all gets sent down? Sixto, 4.57. Yeah, he was sitting at like a 2 something for a lot of the season, and Jorge Lopez gave up 4 runs, so his streak is over. But 2.51 ERA is still fantastic for him. I want to keep him up in the majors for 1 more year. We'll just kind of see how it goes. Lineup wise, first let's see this. Ooh, it's not a lot. It's small sample size, but 400 for Rowdy Tellez to be a bench first baseman. I will take it. I also want to show. I can't see this. So Gary Bright. You know, we drafted him. He went from Double-A. He was hitting 390 this season with a on-base percentage of 480. I called him up to Triple-A. So the only reason he didn't come to the majors is because he's not on the 40-man yet. So I didn't want to waste an option. At Triple-A, he was hitting 360 with like a 450 on-base percentage. He's got to come up, right? He's got to come up. He's hitting so good. All right, MLB. Yeah, he came up in September. Benson. Do I have... probably just won't. I don't know if I'll bring him back. Weimer. We might need to bring these guys back to trade them. I need room on this roster. Sam Huff was a very good backup catcher. Not a lot of at-bats, but pretty good. India, 279, 181 hits. Like to see that from my leadoff hitter. Pretty good. Not as good as the last 2 seasons, but I'm expecting that means that next season we'll get a little bit of a boost from him again. Matt McClain, better year this year from him. 28 home runs, 180 hits. Spencer Steer, 262, actually having to play first base now, not being able to be a DH. How was he defensively? Because he's not very... Oh, okay, never mind. He was pretty good at defense. Elly was obviously amazing. Marte did not match what he did in that small sample size last year. But it wasn't bad. I just need him to get on base more. 300 on base percentage is miserable. So I need him to get on base more. Speaking of on base, Sanoa got up to 245 average, so which is serviceable knowing how much he's going to walk. More walks than strikeouts again for Sanoa. Stevenson was all right. Fraley, 263. This is his last year with us. See, that's where I'm like with the outfield. Okay, so I've got Hines, Benson, Weimer, Fraley, Friedel, and Sanoa. Sanoa's going to stay up here. Friedel, I've got 3 more years of team control. He hit 300. We're not going to give him an extension with Friedel because he's regressing. So we're going to play him until, you know, he's just no longer serviceable. So the question is then, who's going to come up? Or do I need to sign guys? Because, like, okay, could I bring up Stowers? Do I bring up one of... I don't like a lot of the outfielders, Bubba Thompson. Problem is, like, I guess Spencer Steer can play left. And we can move him to left. And we could bring Bright up and have him play first. But I still think I need to make more room in the outfield. So, you know what we're going to do? Let's get to the... let's first sim playoffs. See what happens. The Braves defeat the Mariners in the 2026 World Series. Your World Series MVP is Jared Kelenic. Ooh, that would hurt. Acuna wins postseason MVP, and Randy Arozarena wins postseason MVP on the AL side. This would just hurt for Kelenic to do that to them. But okay, let's get to the offseason. We're making a few changes. I'm gonna figure out what I want to do with this outfield. But we should be competitive next year, and also like Burns should be able to play. I think a little bit, and you know, Bright needs to come up because he's just too dominant. So we got to create some space, and also I like what future we have here, especially with Elly getting an MVP right now in 2026. We're going to do a trade where we're going to get rid of Hoffman and Cruz and get 2 prospects from the Angels. The Angels are a competitive team. They have very, very good pitching at the top end, with Cease being a Cy Young candidate, and they need some bullpen arms. So we're, you know, generally this is a deal where like I'm going to steal your young guys, and I'm going to give you these older guys that are actually still decent. I don't think that makes sense because they have such a weak bullpen, and they are trying to compete that we're just going to give them the old guys, and we're going to take some prospects that are kind of far away from them. I guess Nunez is kind of close, but he's the older of these two. I figured that Nunez would be the one that if you were going to make a trade, you would trade the 23-year-old, not the 19-year-old. So I was considering an idea, just looking at knowing how good Joey Wiemer is against lefties. Why don't we try to maximize this platoon ability? If we are going to focus on having Wiemer hit lefties, let's get a guy who can hit righties super well and just maximize this platoon to the best of our ability. So Matt Wallner is going to be the guy we're going to go after, and we're going to have a couple years of team control. Now, the Twins are a competitive team, so I feel like I got to give him something good. So Mlbtheshow is a guy who is probably going to be claimed in Rule 5 because I don't think I can't fit him in my 40-man. So he's a good pitcher. He will be claimed. We kind of recouped some of his value. Will Benson is a guy who has been pretty consistent for us and pretty good. If we're trying to do the platoon, they can have this guy. We're going to get the better version of him. And I'm also going to give up that first base prospect we just got in that deal, because it's a top end first base prospect, and they need first baseman coming up. They don't have any prospects really besides Kirilloff, who's 29. So we're going to give him a top end prospect in this, and that's going to maximize our platoon. So we will have Wiemer and Wallner as one of the platoons. I also have two guys who are going into arbitration who I don't really feel like paying the arbitration price for. So we're just going to basically trade them to the Royals, who could have these guys as starters, and just get some prospects back. Starting the 2027 season, post the MVP from Elly De La Cruz, the hope is that this year, with the changes that we made, preparing the young guys to be able to take their place, Elly's already taken his. Now I need more from Marte, McLean, and a couple of the other guys. We are in a good position to actually start competing. Now, pitching wise, I'm a little concerned about this rotation. We went out and got River Ryan off of waivers from the Dodgers. Interesting potential player. Could be something. I don't know. Basically, I wasn't really confident with how Red Lauder started the season last year, or ended the season last year. So I wanted to send him back down to AAA and just, give him a couple more innings before I would bring him back up. I did not put Chase Burns or Gary Bright on the 40-man, only because we had actually a lot of guys on the 40-man right now. And so it didn't really make a lot of sense. So we have an interesting set there. We did make one free agency move. I went out and got Dustin May, flamethrower from the Dodgers as well. He just put together 2 great seasons back to back, and I figure, why not, right? He's very talented. He's been very, very good. He fits our velocity, power, pitching type philosophy. I just said philosophy twice. So Hunter Green, May, you've got Lodolo and Abbott here, who Abbott's going down already. We just gave Abbott 4-year deal and he's going down. Okay, whatever. And then, so hopefully, basically, River Ryan is going to be kind of a spot guy here, where I think if we do a good performance from him, we will trade him if we kind of recoup some value from him. And that will leave space for Red Lauder and Chase Burns to come up and take that last spot. Bullpen wise, Sixto Patino there. I signed both of these guys to a little bit longer term deals. They're kind of the same guy. It just kind of bypassed their arbitration, and I stole the first year of their free agency by this. I knew that because of how they were going to perform, I was going to be paying this much for arbitration, so I wanted that extra year that I could get out of them. Brought back Piamps. Will Klein is going to be up. I might. Problem is, he doesn't have options. So there's a chance we just trade this guy if he's not good, because I'm not going to be able to send him down. Jorge Lopez, I'm giving him the setup role. He's been so good for the last 4 years. I know it's been a really small sample size, but we're going to try it. If not, we've got Brandon Walker here, who is in the waiting in the wings, has been very, very good, and we got Frank Wells here. Both of these guys could come up very soon. Neither of them are on the 40-man, but we can throw them on there if we need to. So we have room in the pitching rotation for that. That's what the pitching rotation looks like. On the lineup wise, one of the reasons I didn't bring Bright up is because Encarnacion and Kyle Stowers both don't have options anymore, so I had to bring them up. meaning that Soares is going to take that bench outfield spot. Rhys Hines is not yet. Hines will be up there very soon. I'll fix this, whatever. Hines will be the other guy that's going to come up once I kind of figure it out. Encarnacion is going to go to the bench again. See, normally I'd be like, okay, then you just get rid of Rowdy and let Encarnacion take the spot. But Rowdy was very, very good off the bench last year, and he was pretty good off the bench the year before. I don't really want to lose him if he's been that good off the bench. Encarnacion, well, he hasn't been performing in the minors. So the hope is that he can come up and end up taking that spot. And we can kind of move him in for like Spencer Steer here soon once Steer's contract's up. Otherwise, we just have the platoon of Wallner and Weimer as the kind of only change in the lineup. And AAA wise, Gary Bright's kind of ready. One disappointing thing, I'll say this. Cam Collier is now C potential. He's gone down in potential. That's not something we wanted to see here. So there's a very good chance Cam Collier ends up being the odd man out of this young core. I don't see him making it, especially with Bright on the way and Arroyo on the way. There's a pretty good shot that he's not really the guy, especially as I think sometime soon we're going to have to start worrying about money. Hunter Green has 3 years left, and once those 3 years are gone, well, I signed a lot of guys long term in order to try to fix this problem of money. We're going to have to figure out how to solve it. So hopefully we just get some good performances from some of the young guys. Yeah, this season, my hope is that we can be a wild card team again. We have pick 12 in the draft. And that puts us in, I guess, good spot to get a good prospect. But I don't necessarily know what we need. Maybe more outfield help. Maybe just, really just best talent available, I think, at this point. Besides maybe no shortstop or second baseman. So we will see you at the draft. All right. I don't like River Ryan. I don't like him at all. I'm trading him for 2 prospects that I don't even think are that good. Here you go, Colorado. Starting the draft, we have pick 12, and the question becomes, what is actually going to be available for us once we get there? There's a lot of really talented guys that I think fit within our goals and what we like. My favorite guy being probably this Calvin Papas, but I don't think he's going to be there. But also Alejandro Guevara, knowing that I do think we do need a catcher. Also Dina Lamanza. Love the bat. Secondary catcher. I want to go position player. Now, we're pick 12, though, so I don't know what's all going to be around. And there goes Kelvin Papas. So, a pretty top-heavy draft. There's a good amount of guys in the middle that I like. I like the types of players that I like. The older guys, high potential, decent players. A lot more position players in this draft than pitchers. Dino Almanza's gone. Guevara's gone. So that leaves us with probably Hagar or Drew Murphy. Oh, I can't do Drew Murphy. I'm stupid. Probably Hagar. See, this is the problem. All these pitching. Because, Kevin Ramirez is good, but not really. Maybe I can get Alex McFarland with the second pick, but I don't know. Do we take Hagar? I just don't like the stats, man. I don't really think he's going to be that good. Whatever, we'll take him. Third ranked guy on our board, so. All right, McFarland's gone. Okay, so that's Juan Amoros. I want this guy or Noble. This is my favorite, the 89 and 94 potential. Just give it to him, or give him to me. Yikes. There's a couple other guys like that right here with Ron Hanks as well. Another first baseman. We will consider that. Otherwise, he's really nope. I went through everybody, but then I always go back. I'm like, are you sure you went through everybody? Yeah, whatever. Bernie Lindstrom. Ron Hanks. Felipe Muriel, or I mean, no, Joe Rios is pretty good too. Eddie Campos is a risk. I got 2 picks. Let's go high ceiling. High ceiling. All right, that's the draft. We're not very competitive, and so we're gonna sell. I don't really see a lot coming from us this season, so it's kind of disappointing. We've got some good production from a few guys and not good from others. Friedell's going to be the one who I'm going to sell, simply because I can get something back. We're going to trade him and Stafura. I'm doing this to make this work, this deal work. Those 2 relievers that I'm going to get, I'm going to basically swap right back out. I just need to make the money work for them. The main thing that we're trying to get here is Diego Cartaya, who doesn't play for them. I mean, I'd like to get Rushing, but Cartaya's more reasonable, I think. So we'll get Diego Cartaya for TJ Friedell, and then I'll swap out a couple other guys that I'm going to sell off right now. And the second selling deal is going to be Piamps plus one of those relievers, Joe Jimenez, and Tyler Callahan to get Luis Baez off the Astros. They need relievers, and we need more outfielders. We're also going to send out Mole and Stowers. We're going to get back Gel. I kind of loved him last time I had him. Now he's only got 1 year left, so we're gonna give him an extension right away, because he's still gonna be pretty cheap. Last time that we used him, he was very, very good, and they're not playing him. He's sitting in the minors, so we're also gonna trade Sam Huff back to the Rangers. They have a reliever here who's really, really bad in the majors right now, but he has potential, and so I'm just gonna send him back down to the minors for us, and if we're selling, then whatever. Sam Huff can go. Few swings, few hits, few misses. I'll take it, honestly. We went with Hagar as that top guy, as the guy who ended up being there. And then literally I talked about it. The types of guys that I like drafting, Oren Noble and Ron Hanks, were both 90 plus potential. Far away. Don't know if they'll actually end up being valuable besides maybe trade assets. Otherwise, once again, we just didn't really do that good in this draft. It's been pretty consistent. I don't know if it's maybe it's because of the whole velocity thing. I'm doing things that I normally don't do, and it's Almanza wasn't that good either. So it's not like we missed too hard on a lot of these. Yeah, because he wasn't that great either. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. We can keep talking about it. I think honestly, at this point, we've drafted so many guys that. It's just more of like now we just need some performance. We're 55-58. After the trades, we've actually won a couple games here. We were 1 game up on the Cubs, so it's been kind of nice. But yeah, the team's not that good, so we'll probably see at the end of the season. I don't know if we're gonna make a wild card. I can hope we can make a run. I'm probably gonna bring up Gary Bright and Chase Burns. In order to kind of make it, in September, just to get a spark of this team. But yeah, it's not been that great. We might need to make a big change in the offseason. We do at least go 84-78, but the NL was pretty stacked this year, and we even went on a run at the end of the season. Like, it's kind of crazy if you look at that last 2 weeks of the season. We go 11-2 to at least get ourselves over 500. I mean, we had a good team, but we started off so rough. Like you see here, we have some big stretches of just losing, and that hurts. That hurts. That's why we didn't make a run. But looks like a lot of the teams that we traded to, like Houston and LA, we helped them make playoff appearances, and that's valuable too, because having those teams in the playoffs means that we're not fighting with them for lottery odds, and I think that we did a good job of helping them out. Award winners, I can already tell you. I know who's the MVP. But we got a Cy Young from Hunter Green. Okay. But it's Elly De La Cruz, who puts together an even better season this year than he did last year. I was watching this all year because this is why my mood's a little bit like kind of like a little disappointed, because a season like this from Elly, 159 games, another 200 hit season, 47 doubles, 17 triples, 56 home runs, 316, over 1,000 OPS. He has a great fielding season, 10 plus WAR, no Gold Glove, sadly. Home run champion, everything. I mean, just phenomenal for him this year. The fact that this isn't a playoff team, that hurts. That hurts. That hurts to waste a really, really good year from Elly, and also, I guess, a really good year from Hunter Green, who threw 234 strikeouts in 200 innings. I mean, he's a strikeout guy. We're gonna have to pay him soon. And then India, we had so many guys that were really good, and then the rest of the team was just so bad. Elly he didn't even lead in triples. Matt McLain led in triples with 18 triples. Okay, so let's just take a look here. Hits wise, India with 217, Elly with 204. That's crazy. Doubles, India with 55, Elly with 47. Triples, McLain has 18 and Elly has 17. And then home runs, Elly has 56, which leads the league. And 172 RBIs as well. If we're trying to build a big red machine, that's the machine. It's McLain, it's Elly, it's India. We need a third guy, or we need a fourth guy. Those are the top three. Who else is going to step up? And also, who's going to step up soon? Because Elly can't do this every year. Who did they send? Connor Phillips? Connor Phillips is a 294. I don't know why they sent him down. High whip, by the way. But yeah, he's going to stay up in the majors next year. He was very good. Sixto was not. I feel bad for signing him to that extension. It didn't sound down Jorge, though. Brought up Chase, though I never brought him up because I just didn't have room in the starting rotation. Some of the guys were doing well. Not louder. Lodolo was really, really poor. 593. I don't like to see that. Williamson 498. He's gonna go on arbitration here. I'm gonna trade him. Patino was very good. Gel was decent. I signed him to an extension because that's insanely cheap. Klein was very, very good in his 10 innings. I brought Rosario up instead of Burns just because of bullpen arm. Jorge has just been phenomenal. Can I risk having him play again this year? I don't know, but we're going to try it. And Diaz, probably his worst season with us here. Dustin May was all right. Abbott was meh. I don't like to see that. And Louder was rough. Yeah, pitching rotation, not very good. You've got the Cy Young, and then everybody else was kind of bad. All right, let's see. They sent anybody down? Nope. Okay, so Cartaya, 235 for us. Hines was actually pretty good when he came up, so I think we'll just keep him up for next season. Got him off waivers somewhere through the season. Whatever. Not bringing him back. Weimer was not good. I should have known, by the way. He did this, he did this, he did this, he did this. Next season, he's going to hit 250. But do I really want to just keep bouncing with that? I don't know. I don't know if that's worth the $4 million he's probably going to ask for. Jonathan India, 325, 55 doubles, just 217 hits. Just been a phenomenal leadoff hitter. Sticking with him. Glad we signed him to an extension. Sonoya, I signed him to an extension. And yeah, dude's an on-base machine. 381 on base. That's really just what I want to see from him. Steer was all right. 19 home runs, 273. Elly was obviously fantastic. Wallner, yeah, no, not really that great. McLain was good. Marte, 368. I want to see more from a 90 overall. Stevenson was bad. He's not worth $8 million. He's just not worth $8 million. And then Bright came up. Oh, they sent down Encarnacion, who was not good. Yeah, this is my problem. Okay, so take a look at the roster. Let's assess for a moment. India, Sonoya, Cruz, McLean. 4 guys. They each have a fantastic role. India is a contact hitter. He gets on base through hits. Sonoya is a on base machine, gets on base through walks. You have your power bat and Elly De La Cruz, and you have another like doubles, triples machine in Matt McLean, who's a really good player as well. This is a core. This team is a core. We have it. McLean, De La Cruz, Sonoya, India. Somebody else needs to step up. We missed the playoffs 2 years in a row with just an absolutely stacked team with absolutely stacked performances from Elly De La Cruz. Dodgers defeat the Orioles. You're welcome, Dodgers. Austin Gauthier, not really deserving, probably. Shohei Ohtani wins postseason MVP. Colton Cowser on the other side. I should actually look at the MVP on the other side. Gunnar wins MVP. Cy Young goes to Scooball. Yeah. I don't know if I'm just impatient, but I know that you're not going to get this level of production every year. And knowing how this game goes, it's kind of like three-year intervals generally. And knowing how baseball goes, 3-year intervals, we're probably going to have one more fantastic year of Elly. 2028, I feel like has to be a year where we need to contend, like next year now. So I'm going to make big moves. I don't really see a reason to wait. I also know that I want to get it while we still have Hunter for $8 million. So we're going to make some big moves this offseason. First move we're going to make is we're going to get Nolan Jones. Big outfielder. Feel like that'll be valuable to do. I need a replacement. Tyler Stevenson, Carlos Jorge, Davis Wenzel prospects are going to go out, which means we need to get a catcher. Because the Red Sox, for some reason, have Mlbtheshow, I'm going to get Kyle Teal to be the other catcher. We're going to give Brandon Williamson and Matt Tice, so Tice can be their backup catcher. Brandon Williamson can be the starter that they need in their rotation. I can already tell you what we're trading next because I just want to show you. We traded Will Benson for Matt Wallner. I don't think a trade has backfired as poorly as this one for us so far. He hit 300. Weimer hit 200. Wallner hit 240. Wallner and Weimer are going out the door for Brian Wu. That's how we're going to replace that and make that feel work better. Which means we need another outfielder. So, I need to clear some space in regards to just getting roster spots. Clase hasn't been closing for some reason. I'm going to take advantage of this. I'm going to get Emmanuel Clase. We're going to bring him in. He's still not going to close, by the way, for us. He's going to be the setup guy. But that's an insane setup, man. This should help our bullpen. We actually have more players they need, too. So we're going to give them Ricardo Cabrera, Bubba Thompson, and Ken Valentine. Valentine. And get Ralphie Velasquez and Aldridge Montoya back. I still need to just clear guys that need 40 man or 40-man eligible. Good players, MLB ready players, and get guys that aren't. As we said, 2028, we are going to go in with a completely different game plan. We need to win now. While we have a lot of guys under contract for longer years, I think it's better that we win right now. Go for it. So I have a lot of guys that are on last year their deals. You saw the trades that we made that were risky trades, to be honest. But I also thought we were able to do that because we have so many guys in our system that we can kind of rely on down in the future. Now, this team looks a lot different than it did last year. In the pitching rotation, Green, Lodolo, May, Wu, Louder, with Abbott over here. I'm probably going to trade him, by the way. I don't know why he's regressing only 4 years into his career. Unless he performs well and he's a good lefty at the bullpen. Clase, we signed Brusdar Graterol, who's regressing. Love to see it. So our bullpen at the end is Clase, Graterol, Alexis Diaz. You can't get much better than that when you talk about power pitching, besides maybe Yohan Duran, you know? Amazing back end of the bullpen, honestly, and I love the front end. And we have so many guys that are ready. Walker, Wells, Rosario, Avila. We have so many good arms. So, whoever kind of wins this this game for the next 2 seasons is what is going to end up being the rotation when I sign Hunter Green long term. Lineup wise, India, Sanoa, McLean, De La Cruz. Top of the lineup, set. We talked about that. That is the actual like core of this team. I switched India and McLean. So India is a worse defensive player than McLean. So McLean's going to be an actual starter in this case. I might switch righty, lefty, whatever. I might move McLean down against righties and just keep him up against lefties. But we'll figure it out. No, I'll change it if needed. I need to see performance from somebody else. Nolan Jones, the new guy coming in. I'm having Gary Bright come in and play first on both days. Spencer Steer is the one who's going to be sliding out of the lineup if he, not that he hasn't performed, but I feel like Bright needs to be in. If Hines underperforms, quick, easy, boom, Spencer Steer back in. Nolan Jones, Cartaya, and Kyle Teal are our platoon for catcher. So that is our lineup. That is our rotation. Looking at our budget, we have $8 million. Main things that you need to note: Clase is at the end of his deal. Nolan Jones is at the end of his deal. If both of them perform, we can toss some qualifying offers and see if we can get a pick back for them. I don't know. I don't think we will, but we could try. So besides that, Burns should be up at some point. I need to see just a little bit more from him down here. AAA this season. Phillips is down because he had an option I could use. So he's going to come back up though too. Once again, like I said, this is the competition of whichever guy gets to keep the position, gets to keep the position. This is cutthroat now. We have too much talent. Whoever sucks is gone. It's that simple. If Lodolo sucks, I'm trading him. I don't care that he is a big member of this core. If he sucks, he's out. We have to win now. This season, next season, that's our timeline. Obviously, we have more in the future. But if we're going to start a dynasty, it has to start right now. I'm going to move on from Andrew Abbott. Chase Burns is ready. He's going to come up. So I need to move off of Abbott. He's the one who costs money. Makes sense to get rid of him. We're going to send him to the Angels, who need starting pitching help. Going into this draft, we pretty much just need talent across the board. We've sold a lot of guys. A lot of our prospects actually haven't developed to a level that we've wanted them to. And so, besides pitching, which we actually have a lot of now, question whether or not they're actually good pitchers. You know, that's the actual, like, good. Are they going to be good or not? I don't know. We have a lot of talent. Let's see here. J.R. Berger, decent. He's good. Was there any guys that I didn't put on my board? No, I think they were all guys that didn't have the stats that I needed. Now, I was debating. So I have pick. This catcher's good. But I have Teal and I have Cartaya and I have so many catchers. But also... Alright, what was Berger? We're going to take the risk. You know what? We have so much pitching. So much pitching. I'm taking Jay Palmer. Hey, J.R. Berger's still there. Let's go. All right. Edgar Torres. I want Homer Crump. Oh, yikes. My board disappeared instantly. We're at pick 124. I've got 3 picks left to make. Problem is, like, none of these guys have, like, any velocity. I can't take them then. You kidding me? Hello, Mark Rosales, I guess. Didn't even scout these guys, by the way. Ah, I can't even get him. Okay. All right. Dwayne Heath. Yikes. At the end. Okay. I think top end's good. Back end's bad. We're making the playoffs this year. This is, yeah. We made the right moves at the right time this season. The fact that this deal is possible is insane to me. Johnny Field, our first round draft pick like 2 years ago, and Luis Baez, a really good center fielder, is going to get us James Wood with 3 years of team control left. Why? You know what, guys? I feel so bad. Here, I don't know. Take Barney Lindstrom. And we just basically replaced him anyways with Jay Palmer only having 76 potential. Didn't look like that, right? Like, it did not look like that's what he was. Also, scouted potential is now 70 out of 85. So, okay. All right. Berger was good. Crump was good. Peralta was good. Crump was really good. Like, really good. Wish I would have drafted him, like, in year one. And the rest of them weren't that great, but hey, you know what? It is what it is. This team is so stacked right now. I don't think we're going to show any more drafts because I honestly think it'd be hard to see this team not win a World Series right now. 106 and 56, and that's a 22 game improvement on last season. When you talk about trying to, go all in for this season, I think that we did that successfully. Let's take a look. There was actually a point where I think we even had a bad last month here. Yeah, we did. Because I think we went into this month, like, we lost. I think we were at like 40 losses around here, somewhere around here, when there was a minor injury in Encarnacion Strand. Well, he got hurt in the beginning of the year, but I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, never mind. He was on the 60-day IL. 6 months. He came off of it. That's why. All right. Shut up. Okay. Anyways, we were at like 40 losses at that point. So I was like, could we get 110 wins? 106 is good. Award winners. Elly De La Cruz with the Hank Aaron. Gary Bright with the Rookie of the Year. And Elly De La Cruz with a third straight MVP, hitting 52 home runs this season. With a three-peat this year at shortstop. As he goes up to a 99. Played a little bit less games because we don't have him at DH anymore. Only 197 hits. Does not break the 200 this year. 52 home runs. A little bit of a worse year than he had last year. Got caught stealing a little bit more. OPS was still high. WAR was 10.2. Yeah, so it's not as good of a year as he had last year. Probably need to have him play a little bit more DH again next season. But yeah, 3 straight MVPs for Elly as he just kills righties. Yeah, all right. MVP on the AL side is Juan Soto again. That is his third. Yep, 3 MVPs now for him. Cy Young goes to Hunter Green and Lodolo runner up to Paul Skeens. And Freddie Peralta gets this, and he's got 2 as well. So Freddie gets that on that side. Skeens there. Elly, so close to getting a batting title. That's so close to a triple crown from him. Christian Yelich steals the triple crown in his age 36 season. By the way, Carlos Jorge, we traded him. Torn MCL though. You know what? Maybe we get lucky there. Torn MCL. Gary Bright wins that. So Jorge would have been an interesting player then, I guess. All right, league leaders. Dustin May with winning percentage. Elly De La Cruz, Elly De La Cruz, Elly De La Cruz, Elly De La Cruz, Elly De La Cruz. As we, dominate again. India with his hits again, right up there. At bats, doubles. I don't see McLean. Nolan Jones though, so honestly, that's all right. I didn't see triples though from McLean. So first, let's take a look at the pitching staff. They sent anybody down? No, just Will Klein, who had a 1.46 ERA. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, we're calling him back up. Okay, let's take a look at the actual rotation though. Chase Burns, 4.10, 1.59 in the long relief roles. He played 58 games this season, 131 innings. Very, very good from him. Patino, 2.7 in that spot. Gel, 4.62. Gratterall wasn't that great. Rosario only had 10 innings pitched. Diaz, I moved. He's regressing, pretty hardcore. So I moved him. He was pitching well, but Clase was pitching absolutely insane. So I moved Clase into the closer spot. Hunter Green, 4.22, 1.47 whip, 3.14 there, 3.92 from May, 3.44. Yeah, absolutely amazing pitching rotation this season. We made the right moves there. When it comes to the lineup, they sent anybody down. I think I had Collier come up, but not important really. Okay. Cartaya hit 274. Hines 228. Not great. Spencer Steer 263, mostly off the bench. He's got one more year left. We'll consider. I think Jones is gonna leave though, so Steer will probably have one more season anyways. Andrew Vaughn was a waiver wire pickup. Man, pretty good from him. All right. 298, 29 home runs from India. 300. What's his on base? 397 for Sonoya. As he gets more contact ability, he's just going to get his on base percentage higher and higher every season as he gets better at hitting the ball. Marte finally puts it all together. 25 home runs, hits 291 this season. Love to see that. Elly with his third straight MVP. By the way, just like, that's a great stretch right there. He had one, I mean, if you include this season too, and just say 2025, he had a down year. Number 2 in the MVP. He has a down year here in 2025. MVP. So he's been dominant for the last 5 seasons. Yeah, because this year is definitely a down year here. We'll have him play more DH next season in order to try to get that fielding percentage up and, conserve him a little bit more. James Wood, 86. I can't believe that deal was on the table. This is why Nolan Jones won't even be that big of a loss, because we're going to have Wood and Sonoya, and then I can have Hines or whatever play the other spot. That's crazy that was available. McLean, his potential goes down, so he's probably 89 potential. 24 home runs, 28 doubles. The triples are down. OPS is down. Jones, amazing season. Bright, rookie of the year. In 133 games, he hits 20 home runs, 27 doubles, almost 900 OPS at first. Teal missed half the season due to an injury. Put together a fantastic season. This is a great catching lineup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 guys hit 20 home runs on this team, and Steer had 16 coming off the bench, and Hines had 11 on the bench. I mean, yeah, we put it together this year. I don't think you can exaggerate just how much we put this together this year. Let's go win the World Series. In round 1 for us, we have the Pirates, who have Corbin Burns, Mitch Keller, and Paul Skeens as the top of their rotation. Do they not have Jared Jones? Come on. Oh, they do. And Solomet. Oh my God. This pitching staff. Okay. All right. Let's see if our offense can do something here. Hunter Green versus Corbin Burns. What? 17 runs? Okay. Let's not let that be the only offense. Game 2, 8-6. Game 3, May versus Skeens. Okay, there's their offense. Brian Wu versus Solometo. Oh, don't you dare lose this game. Louder versus Jones. Okay, we win that. All right. I was really excited, and I got scared. Okay, we have Philadelphia, who have McAble, Alcantara, and Painter. So let's do this. Game 1, 9-8. Game 2, 10-2. Game 3, May versus Painter, 5-8 loss. Wu versus Aaron Nola in Game 4. That is a 11-6 victory. Let's get this win louder. We're to the World Series, just like that. We are playing the Minnesota Twins, who I think are a really, really good team. I believe they have. I mean, they were the ones that got Soto. They put together just kind of a stacked roster. We gave them. What did we do in the? Oh, they're not even playing him. Will Benson's gone. He had 281 this year. He's just not playing in the playoffs, I guess. Buxton. Wait, did I say Buxton is down here too? Okay. So Estrada, Correa, Soto, Royce Lewis, Julian. I mean, this team is really, really good. Pitching staff, Gore, Jordan Hicks was, I think, third in the Cy Young this year for them. Job is good. Paddock is good. I mean, the Twins are a good team. They still have Joe Ryan, like, in the bullpen now. Yeah, this team is really good. I think we're better, but you never know. They do have Juan Soto. They've got a 3-time MVP. We got a 3-time MVP. Let's do this. Okay, so we got Green versus Gore, Lodolo versus Hicks, and then May versus Job. So give it to me here. Give me something easy. Come on, Hunter Green. 9-4 victory. That's what we like to see. Game 2, Lodolo versus Hicks. 5-3 victory. We are up 2-0 on Minnesota. Just continue to... Let's do this. 8-6 victory. We are up 3-0 in this. We are going to play this next one. Quick manage. Brian Wu on the bump. Can we sweep the Minnesota Twins? Not only can we win, can we sweep? Right now, it looks like that would be a Mlbtheshow Marte World Series MVP, which I would take. India with a hit by pitch to start it off. Solo home run from Correa. All right. Solo home run from Lewis. Come on, guys. A little more offense, please. A little more offense, please. Why do we only have one hit? And we're down 4-0. Single from Gary Bright. Fielder's choice. Solo home run. I'll go to Patino.
For Cincinnati, number 78.
I don't have a lot of faith in this one. Offense just doesn't exist in this game. So. Yeah, nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Now pitching for the Twins, number 43.
That was brutal. 4 hits from one of the best offenses in the league. What were we, by the way, offensively? Oh, I can't look. I wish I could look. I don't remember if runs scored. I should have looked that up. All right. Okay, no sweep. No sweep. Just means game 5. Quick manage. Here we go. We'll wear some reds. That's okay. We're the Reds. We can wear reds.
Let's play ball.
Right.
Ball 4.
Walk from India. Walk from Sonoya. Come on, Ellie. I need you to do something. Bases loaded for Gary Bright. Strike. Okay. Solo home from Correa. Double from Soto. Guys, give us some offense now, please, then. What is going on?
4. Take your base. 3.
We got nothing.
Take your base. Ball 4.
Thank you, Jonathan India, with a home run to make sure we don't get no hit. Okay. Come on, louder. Get me out of this. All right. Solo home run from Gary Bright. Okay, 2-2 game.
Now pitching for the Twins,
I was scared. We were getting no hit. That's kind of ridiculous. All right. Single from Reese Hines. Strikeout. Fielder's choice. Ground out. All right. Pitching change. We're going to go to Chase Burns.
for the Reds,
Fly out. Single. Single. Come on. Run. Score. Chase. No. Chase Burns. No.
now pitching for the Twins,
All right.
number
Single.
84.
Strikeout. Ellie needs to show up. All right. Men on first and second for Gary Bright. Another single. Bases loaded for Reese Hines. Should I pinch hit? Righty? Yeah, give me a pinch hit. Spencer's here.
For Cincinnati.
Ground out. So,
Spencer Steer. Now pitching for the Twins.
okay.
Number 43.
Ball 4. Take your
Walk.
base.
All right, man in first and second.
Now pitching for the Twins.
Strikeout. Fielder's choice.
Number 24.
No, we just want to win it at home. We just want to win it at home. All right, we want to win it at home. That was the whole plan. We need to win it at home. So Hunter Green versus Jordan Hicks. Quick manage. Well, we're the homes. We are in Cincinnati. Hunter Green. Is anybody cold? Oh, James Wood, but whatever.
Play ball.
All right, so,
Take
I
your
don't
base.
like
Ball
that.
4.
thankfully we get out of it. Single from Marte. Fielder's choice.
He's safe. 3.
Guys, we have one of the best offenses in the league. Give me something.
Ball 4. Take your base.
Walk from Bright, single. Man on first and second for Jonathan India. Single. We got a run scored. We have a lead.
3.
Another run scored. Man on the corners for Elly. Double. Elly, come on, man. All right. We're at least operating with the league.
Ball 4.
League
Take your
lead.
base.
Here.
3.
Double from a 2-run home run from Nolan Jones. Okay, 4-0. I feel a lot more comfortable. Now, this is still an insanely powerful team, so
3.
don't get too confident.
Now pitching for Minnesota. Number 41.
Ball 4. Take your base.
Bases loaded for James Wood.
Ryan.
1-run scores. Fielder's choice. We are up 5-0.
3.
We'll just let Hunter Green keep going.
3.
Sack fly. 5-1.
3.
I think we'll take him out this next inning. So we're going to make a pitching change. Not Chase Burns. No. I want to go Alexis
Now
Diaz.
pitching for the Reds.
Ball 4.
Number
Take your base.
43.
3.
Yeah, baby. All right. Single from Elly. He finally figures out how to get on base. Fly out. Fielder's choice.
3.
All right. Pitching change.
Now
You know what we're
pitching for
doing.
the Reds.
Manual Clase. Line
Number
out.
48.
Double.
Emmanuel
Double.
Clase.
Walk. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not letting the simulation do it. I'm watching it. If the game is rigged, I want to see it. This is Emmanuel Clase on the mound.
Ninth inning here with one
Bases
away.
loaded for Royce Lewis.
Lewis in the box now.
That's a
Takes
strike.
strike one.
Everyone here understands just how quickly things could change.
Swings through that one for
Slider
strike
outside.
two.
Okay, 0-2 count.
All eyes on the double
Royce
play ball
Lewis.
in this spot. No better way
Here
to
in
get out
Game
of this
6 of the
inning.
World Series with the pitch.
Foul ball.
Foul
It
ball.
stays 0-2.
Hitter's got some good opposite field power. What I like
We can do
about
this, Clase.
something being hit to the right side into the
With the
outfield
pitch.
is that the base runner at
Fouled
second
off
has a very good read and can
I feel
determine
like Clase is the
whether or
perfect
not
guy to
he
play
can
the Twins. He
score on
plays
that
them a
base
lot.
hit.
He's from the Guardians, so let's do this. Another
All
pitch.
loaded up. Dangerous hitter at the plate.
He
Check
went.
swing. Appeal to first. No swing. Just held it back there.
Come on, Clase.
At the belt
I believe in you.
fires. Chases the
Strikeout.
fastball.
All right.
The
Okay.
liner struck him out.
Still not over.
Gotta be pretty
Bases are
quick
still loaded.
with the
That was only
advanced
one
speed
out.
These days, so many guys throwing in the upper 90s.
New pitcher for the
They
Reds.
took him out?
Will Klein.
Well, no
Will
margin
Klein
for error in terms
is
of
going to come in to
throwing
save
strikes with
this.
bases
The
loaded.
67
Just has to
overall.
execute
There we go.
one pitch at a time to try to get out of this.
Julian in the
All
box
right.
now. Takes strike one.
Strike up
Some
high.
hitters are just very
Will
confident
Klein.
they can track that
Okay.
first pitch out of the hand of the pitcher. They
Oh,
don't
I
care if
don't
they
like
fall behind
this.
or wrong.
I don't like this. You got this, Will.
And that's off.
All right.
The inside.
Throw ball
edge.
inside.
Now it's
1-1
even
count.
1-1.
Come on, Will. You can do it. I believe in you. Just get him ground out.
And that one missing
Ball
low.
Look, in situations like these, the air can get really thin up there at the plate. Got to find a way to breathe and slow everything down.
Popped up. That's going to be foul. Barely in the stands. All right, 2-2 count. 2-2 count. Bases loaded in the top of the ninth, in the sixth. Game 6. I don't know. My brain's not functioning. Come on.
This one is blasted. A no-doubter. Grand slam.
Why? Why did you take out
That's his
Clase?
fourth home run of the
Did
series.
you take
and
out
the Twins
Clase?
have the lead now.
Can't
It's
give up
6-5.
control. I
Chris,
gave
he's
up
homered in
control. They
back-to-back
took out
games
Clase.
now.
Now we're
Yep,
losing.
seeing the ball well, and he's
God
got his
damn
timing
it.
locked in. He's looking pretty dangerous at the dish right now. Just an unbelievable turn of events
Okay. I don't need.
here. I mean, they've been putting together solid at-bats all inning to set the table for him, and he delivered big time. To
I
give them
hate
the lead.
relief
Huge
pitchers. I
momentum
only
shift on
like
that swing,
one, and his name's
now we'll see if
Emmanuel
they can run.
Clase.
Into the
I only
outfield
like
base hit.
one. There's
Joey
one
gets on
reliever that's
base
good in
and
this
keeps it
game.
going.
It's
Seems like he
Emmanuel
got
Clase.
exactly what he was
Took
looking
him
for.
from me. All right, very bright. That's single. That's double.
Back to the top of the lineup. Jonathan India at the plate.
Come on, Jonathan.
Just missed.
That's the bottom of Game 6 of the World Series. I believe in you.
Right through there for a strike.
I believe in you, Jonathan. Just get on base.
Looking to get
Come
the
on.
tying run on base.
Hold
And
off.
a count 1-2. Twins trying to close out a
1-2
one-run
count.
lead here
With the
in
pitch.
Game 6.
One side. 2-2 count.
Definitely got the hitter conscious of the pitch inside. Really think the outer half is open.
This could end it. This one
Right.
rolled to Kirilloff. Steps on the bag himself. Ball game.
Ball game. This team had to battle with that 10th man.
Game
Those fans
7.
making a lot of noise, but they took the lead in the ninth
Not
inning.
happy
quieted things
about
down.
this.
They were able to get those final 3 outs in the
computer's
bottom half as
fault.
well.
The
Just a
computer was
very
rigging it.
well-executed ball game.
So, Chris, here's a look at the final numbers from what turned out to be.
That's brutal. That's so brutal. We even said we were going to jump in because I didn't want to see the computer rig this, and they still found a way to do it. Lodolo versus Job. Okay. Regroup. Regroup. We can do this. Oh, no. No, no, no. All right. Advanced day. Quick manage. Lodolo will get the ball for Game 7.
Let's play ball.
All right. Come on.
3.
No. Stop it. No. Stop it. Okay. All right.
Ball
Give me
4.
some
Take
offense,
your
boys.
base. 3. 3. 3. 3.
Double from Kyle Teal. Pop up. Double from Sonoya. Ooh. 1-0 lead. 2-0 lead.
3. Take
All
your
right.
base. Ball 4.
2-1 lead.
3.
And on the corners, I need that sack fly. I need that run.
3. 3. 3. 3.
Okay, that's gonna be it for Lodolo.
Ball 4. Take your base.
Walk for Wood.
Now pitching for the
3.
Strikeout. Double
number
play.
16.
I'm gonna take out Lodolo here.
Mlbtheshow.
We are gonna go to Gratterall.
Pitching for the Reds. Number
He gets through that.
Brusco. Gratterall.
It's top of the 8th. We're gonna go to Diaz.
Now pitching
Ball
for the
4.
Reds.
Walk.
Take your base.
Single. Pinch runner. Strikeout. Strikeout. All right. Tied 3-3. Sonoya. Arte. Elly! Elly! Oh my God. Elly De La Cruz. The go-ahead run in the bottom of the 8th. Which means Emmanuel Clase.
For the Reds, number 48,
Ground out.
Emmanuel.
Strikeout. Enter the game.
Welcome if you just joined
Team select. Do not screw me here.
this John
Emmanuel
Shelby and Chris
Clase
Singleton
versus
as
Edward
we've got
Julian.
two away in the ninth.
Top of the 9th of Game 7. With the pitch.
Julian stands
Strike
in
one.
now and watches strike one. Trying to close out a one-run lead here in Game 7.
All right. You got this, Clase. Another pitch.
Lifted
That's
to
popped
left,
up.
and that should do
That's
it.
popped up. James Wood's getting under it.
And that's
World
it.
Series win.
They are
Cincinnati
World
Reds.
Series champions.
Good drama.
Congratulations to the champs. Game 7
The heartbreak.
World Series. Every player on
The
both
savior of
sides of the
Cincinnati
ball.
is Elly
This
De La
it.
Cruz.
This team got it done. They've been a special club all year long.
3-time
And it's fitting
MVP.
they win it all
Go
in a
ahead, run.
special
Give him World
series.
Series MVP. I don't care if he didn't perform in everything else. Give him the World Series MVP. He hit the go-ahead home run in the bottom of the 8th of Game 7 of the World Series.
Welcome
That's
back on
enough
the
to
show
win it.
as we see some of
Emmanuel
the final
Clase gets the
moments
save in the
and
postseason. I mean, you could also give Emmanuel Clase postseason MVP. I'd take that too. The Reds have won the World Series. Man, that would be a dramatic World Series to see in real time. Oh, Gary Bright wins World Series MVP. Matt McClain gets the playoff MVP. I'm like stressed out. I'm so stressed out. I still can't believe the Will Klein thing. I'm still in shock at that. Okay. All right. Regroup. Focus. We are now World Series champions. We've won three MVPs with Elly De La Cruz. I think this has the potential to be a dynasty, but we're not going to take it as close. If anybody's watched any of my videos, you know that once we have accomplished one of our goals, which was to win the World Series with this Cincinnati Reds core and keep it together, we have accomplished that. We have won MVPs for Elly De La Cruz. We've accomplished that. The rest of it now is the career sim, is a little bit of a simulation. So what we're going to do is we're just going to sim for the next 5 years and then maybe a little bit further just to see what Elly and everybody else ends up doing. To get the end of this, see how this team ends up turning out. But we're also probably going to take our hands mostly off the wheel. This was a miracle season, to be honest. We went all in. We sold the farm. We bought every player we needed. The main one being Emmanuel Clase. I should just sign him back, honestly. Like, I don't care. I don't care how expensive he is. You just got to sign him back. He's so good. He's the only reliable reliever I've ever found. It's Emmanuel Clase. He's my hero. So yeah. Man, that was a rough playoffs for a team to win 106 games. But I guess we'll see you for the next several seasons and see if we can repeat. See what else we can do. I'm not expecting another MVP year from Elly De La Cruz. I would assume, as normal, he's got 3 years at the top. He's going to slip off a little bit now this next season. Somebody else will win it. But, wow. All right. See you soon. And so in the next season, we don't win the division, actually. Going 92-70 as a wild card team. Losing that last game. I wonder... Pittsburgh won the division. Okay. by 1 game. Oh my God, this offense. I mean, we knew this offense, right? 913 runs? Our defense must be horrible. Yankees offense as well. Okay. Mariners offense. We have an award winner. Hank Aaron Award for Elly. Another MVP for Elly. I thought he wouldn't get 4 in a row. 4 in a row for Elly. And oh, okay. All right. That is his best season? I wonder about WAR. 63 home runs for Elly. We'll come back to the other thing we just saw, because that was even weirder. Highest OPS. Highest WAR. Yeah, this is his best season. Age 27, his 4th MVP. So he had a runner-up, bad year, MVP, 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 MVP. He has been so dominant. No home run champion this year. That's because the home run champion is going to Mlbtheshow Marte. 25 home runs. He's juicing. He's taking steroids right now. What? What is that slugging percentage? Okay. How did he get to 68 home runs? Like, he doesn't have that level of power. And he had a gold glove. And a silver slugger. What was his WAR? Even better. 11.9. Oh. Okay. Yeah, when I said we had a great offense, I think this is what I meant. 260 plus home run guys. Aaron Judge hits 43 over here to get an MVP. Is that his? That's his second. With Julio as the runner-up. Cy Young goes to Freddie Peralta and Yoshinobu Yamamoto with 25 wins. Is he not starting? No, he is starting. He's starting and he got 25 wins? Wow. Okay. I know wins shouldn't matter, but he also had one of the lower ERAs. So, we'll take it anyways. Dylan Lesko. Batting title goes to Quan. Gary Bright was right there. That's a lot of red. This is hard for me to see whenever they end up having records like that, where it's like everybody's from the same area. Our pitching must have been bad. League leaders, Marte in home runs, Elly in RBIs, India in walks, Elly in slugging, Elly in on base, Bright, Marte, Elly, India, Marte, Elly, India, Elly, Elly, Marte, Elly. Yeah. Safe to say this team is very good on... Okay. Who'd they send down? Dustin May? Oh, yuck. 5.2 ERA for Dustin May. Burns, not good. 5.2. Patino, 3.64. Whatever. Bullpen was all right. I don't really like that from Diaz, who at least went up in overall this season. Clase went up as well, but 10 blown saves. Hunter Green 3.82. Bad season from Lodolo. Bad from Wu. Not that great from Louder. Yeah, still looks like the pitching kind of fell apart a little bit from where it had been. But the lineups can't have. First off, who'd they send down? Velasquez, who had 15 home runs, got him off the waivers. I think that's it. So, Cartaya, 252 average, 268 from Reese Hines, 274 from Spencer Steer in his last year with us. Vaughn, on-base machine, pretty good bench bat to get like off of waivers pretty much. India, 300, another 200 hit season for him. I don't know if he'll play long enough to do it, but man, this guy looks like a 3,000 hit potential player. I hope that he can play long enough to do it. I don't know how many more 200. I mean, that's 1,500 hits. He would need to keep this pace for another like 8 seasons. I don't know if that's going to happen. He's not playing until he's 40, so never mind. 2,000 hits probably. Sonoya, ooh, down year for Sonoya, coming off an injury, but also, where did the walks go, buddy? Where'd the walks go? How do you take 90 walks a season and all of a sudden only take 45? I mean, I guess 2. But all right. Not very good there. Elly, another MVP. It's 4 in a row. Marte, 68 home runs. In only 150 games, too. That's Bonds level stuff if he plays those last 12 games. James Wood, not that great. Gary Bright is phenomenal. McLean is all right. 256, another 20 home runs. And then 235 from Teal. Is that how many home runs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys with 20 home runs this season. So just another insanely powerful offense. Let's go through the playoffs. So we had one really good season of pitching. Can they at least make it through the playoffs? Well, if Hunter Green's given up 7 in the first, that's not. No repeat. The Pirates defeat the Mariners in the 2029 World Series. We were not destined for greatness this season. Henry Davis wins World Series MVP. Tamar Johnson on that side. Colt Keith on this side. That's basically what this is saying. Is we built a team offensively. They built a team through pitching. Seattle built a team through pitching. They win because of that, and we do not, because our pitching sucks. But the core hitting team is insane. Maybe we can win another one? I don't know. We need better pitching. But I also don't think Noel Marte can put up 68 home runs next season. The fact that we were a wild card team like that, like, what's the wild card race? Like, we didn't even get, I mean, yeah, we did. But we were a wild card team scoring 900 plus runs this season with 2 MVP performances, basically, from Elly and Marte. I'd be concerned that I don't know if we can repeat that. We could try, though. I don't know. Let's continue to try to build the dynasty, I guess. We get our division title back, going 103-59 in 2030. And while we're not going to get the repeat, 2 in 3 years would still be great. Now let's see if we win any awards. Does Elly 5-peat? Class A, oh my god, that's a lot of awards. I feel like that's a 5-peat. Class A Delivery Man of the Year. Hunter Green with another Cy Young. Hank Aaron for Elly De La Cruz. MVP for Elly De La Cruz. Batting title for Marte. So no Triple Crown. Yeah, that's a repeat. 53 home runs, 138 RBIs. That's 5 in a row for him. 5 MVPs in a row. He's playing less and less games every season. So might have to slide him into a DH, but I don't know. We just got there's so much offensive talent. Marte with another 53 home run season. Just the power just showed up. You know, it's NL Central tradition for somebody to take you know, to have an insane power boost at the very end of their career. Not end, but you know, in the latter half of their career. I should not call this the latter half. He's in year 6. Hunter Green, Cy Young, does not deserve it. But we're the best team. Paul Skeens get that on the other side. Who would the MVP over here? Corey Seager, with Julio as the runner-up, and Rafael Devers still 99 still? It's 2030. Okay, Rafael Devers. Taking back NL side, batting title for Marte, reliever of the year for Class A. Jay Groom, really? Okay. Yeah. We're good still. Offensively, still very good. And if Class A's got 54 saves, that was a steal of a deal that we got from them in order to be able to get Class A. I don't even remember what we really gave up in that deal at this point. But, you know. Not as good of an offensive season from us this year. A little bit better pitching. It's because we did make some moves in the pitching department. Brought in Jackson Jobe off of waivers, by the way. He was waived by Minnesota. Seems like there's a reason why. 5.79 ERA. Then actually in the lineup, Andrew Painter was traded for, who had a 4 ERA. I don't know why Howie Iverson's up here. Chase Burns, not good again. Gel was good. Gratterall was good. Rosario, meh. Brandon Walker, meh. Diaz was decent. And Emmanuel Clase was elite, actually. You know, gave up 1.13 ERA, 0.88 whip, 54 saves. That's an elite performance from him. As Hunter Green gets his second Cy Young. No All-Star appearances, but 2 Cy Youngs. Anybody they send down? Reese Hines. Yeah, he didn't do very well. Hector Rodriguez didn't do very well. MLB lineup. Diego Cartaya, pretty good. Velasquez didn't play. Edwin Arroyo, 240, not bad. Sonoya got his on-base percentage back up to 381. Very good season from him as he continues to get hits and walks. Kind of what you're looking for him. Gary Bright, another on-base machine here. 32 home runs, 37 doubles, 200 hits. Elly with, once again, his 5th MVP. Marte, very good. India, slipping a little bit, down to a 271 average. I think I'm going to move him back up to the top of the lineup next season because somehow he's going up in overall. I'll take it. James Wood, not that great. This is last year with us, so whatever. Matt McClain, he's getting worse. But hey, a little bit more power from him this year, 283 average. Pajes, also waiver, by the way. He was waived by the Dodgers. There is a point where I think you get to a level where the players get so good. Now that we have all the rookies and stuff in there, they just add too much talent, that really, really good players are going to get waived every season. So, like, it's almost not worth going out and signing free agents because you know guys are going to be available. So, let me go fix the pitching rotation. And can we get our revenge and finally go back? I don't think the pitching is good enough. I don't think it is. And it's a stacked pitching rotation, but I don't think it's good enough. So it's 2030. We have the Dodgers. Hunter Green versus Hunter Brown. Lodolo versus Yamamoto. And Lauder versus Sandoval. What can we do? 11-8 victory. 8-7 victory. Get the sweep, please. 14-2 victory. We are now taking on the Colorado Rockies, who have a River Ryan, by the way. Oh, I just pressed triangle. We're down 2-1. I wanted to look at their roster. So remember we did the trade with them for Nolan Jones, who is on the Yankees. Condon, Doyle, Tovar, Amador, Brian Litt. Yeah, this team is very, very good. They have Tyler Stevenson, who has been good for the last several seasons. They obviously have River Ryan, who we traded them a while ago, honestly, in 2027, who they have had as kind of their ace. Carlos Jorge is not playing for them in this playoff roster. Was it Carlos or Dylan? It was Carlos. Now I'm blanking on which one I actually traded them. I think it was Carlos. I think it was the second baseman. So yeah, very, very good team. And we're down 2-1 here. Game 3, we're down 3-1. Lauder versus Hughes. Okay. Job. Yeah, not good enough. Job gives up a lot of runs. Pitching staff still really, really bad. Rockies win their first World Series, defeating the Tigers in the 2030 World Series. Award winner Charlie Condon gets the World Series MVP as well as the playoff MVP. He doesn't look as good as I would think that he would look. But hey, he performed at the end. He's a free agent this offseason. He got the Rockies a World Series. Good for them, honestly. And good for Condon. We'll probably just sim at this point. I don't really think we built a dynasty in Cincinnati. So let's just see what Elly and Marte's careers look like when they're done. Because I don't think we need to go season by season. I don't think this team's good enough, pitching-wise. I could be wrong. When I sim next season, maybe they win the World Series. So it's crazy how the pitching is just so bad every year when we actually get to the playoffs. I think this might be the best team I've ever built. Like, ever. Look at this lineup. And McLean's already an 82. This contract's going to hurt. But 90, 93, 96, 99, 96, which, by the way, regression there from pretty much everybody. 94, 82, 85, 90 in the pitching rotation. This guy's a 93, 92, 90, 89, 89. Like, oh, did they... What happened? Or is he hurt? They trade him? But they sent him down. They sent down Emmanuel Clase. Guess that makes sense. For this playoff run, which, by the way, no MVP this time from Elly, so the run is over. But Hunter Green, third Cy Young now. Not even the best pitcher in our rotation. Actually, I should just show you the awards. Riley Green wins the MVP over on Philadelphia, hitting 57 home runs. Gunnar on Washington. Elly was at least third, so another top 3 finish. Corey Seager gets the MVP over there. I do want to say that, like, there's some stacked teams right now. The question is, like, Colorado lost everybody, and I think every single person on their team went over to, I should just show this quick. I think every single person went over to just create this absolutely stacked infield. Gunnar, Gorman, Condon, insane infield. They just don't have a great first baseman, but if they did, whew, that's something else. Plus, they have Jackson Jobe, which, by the way, what is this contract? That's... Okay, game. All right. 92. Now I'm aware that at some point you can get a guy like Jackson Jobe for 4 years, $8 million at 92 overall. Game broke. Okay? Game's broke. But we can't win. It's just, let's accumulate some stats. It's 2035, and we finally made it back to the World Series. Everybody on this team is pretty old at this point. In fact, you can actually see, looking at the White Sox roster, they have Chase Burns. So, like, the core members of the team are gone. Besides, like, the guys we signed to long-term deals, like Elly and Marte, who have regressed beyond... where, you know, kind of regressed pretty early, honestly, too. But besides those two guys, pretty much everybody has left. All the young guys that we had, just even, like, taking a look at the awards for the last... Okay, that's the postseason. Bucky Katimer of the Cubs has won 3 MVPs in a row. Braden Montgomery, and then, so, you know, it's been several seasons. We haven't necessarily had the best years here. Besides Paul Bell, the pitcher that we have. Really, it's just kind of, can we do it? The White Sox, I think this roster, by the way, the White Sox, I think there's a bug in how they built their team. I watched it happen, and it really threw me for a loop. During free agency, they signed every single free agent around the arbitration period. And it obviously stacked their team up pretty good to get them to this place. I think our team is better, but I guess we'll see. So, game 1 is a W. Game 2 is a W. Game 3 is a W. Game 4 is a loss. Game 5 is a loss. Game 6, we win 2 World Series. Your World Series MVP is Gary Bright. Playoff MVP is Gary Bright. That's his second. So two World Series MVPs for Gary Bright, who has just been a pretty consistent guy. We moved him over to first base when when the computer took over, because I wanted to make sure that they didn't, trade him for being a third baseman or trade Marte. So I made him into a first baseman. That's what he was playing the whole time anyways. So 2 World Series for this team. 2028 and 2035. That's a pretty big stretch between 2 World Series. But yeah, we advance with 2 World Series under Elly, Marte, and all of those guys' belts. So actually, we can just take a quick look. So they're 33. Elly is progressing. We're going to try to get him to play longer. Currently, for his career. He is an 88.8 WAR player. We're going to see what we can do for the last 2 years of his deal. Marte fell off a cliff after the 2 steroid seasons. And yeah, batting title in 2030, home run champ. I mean, yeah, he's still decent, but yeah, nothing like he was over here. So these 2 seasons were really fluky. He did put together a really good 2032 as well, but yeah, 61 WAR for Marte right now. The other one that got sent down is Jonathan India, who signed with Toronto in 2033, and then for a 1-year deal, signed with Atlanta for a 1-year deal. We signed him to a 1-year deal. He's at 2,400 hits. I don't think he's going to get to 3,000, but I'm going to try to just... I'm not going to hold him hostage because we have so many guys. But yeah, Sonoya is regressing too. Just an on-base machine for his career. It's an interesting team, but we'll probably just see it at the end. I'm surprised that we even won the World Series this year. This was one of the worst teams that we put together, but I guess somehow they got Noblemeyer. I've let the computer take over, so that's also why. I've only came over and managed the roster so that they would keep Elly, Marte, and the core guys in the lineup. But yeah, a couple more seasons, and then we should just be able to get a recap of what Elly, Marte, India's careers ended up being. We're just going to run through the motions of some of the guys and just kind of take a look at them. Hunter Green ends up probably retiring around here. Doesn't look like a Hall of Famer for the game's sake, but 3 Cy Youngs in his career. No All-Stars, by the way. Though they were all kind of wins-related Cy Youngs. I don't think he deserved really any of them besides... I mean, maybe the 2027 one, I think, is actually the one he probably deserves if he gets any. It's that one. The other ones, I don't believe he deserved at all. But you know what? Decent career for Hunter Green, who gets a 1 World Series title in his career and 3 Cy Youngs. And while India's on the Marlins now, I don't see him actually playing much under this contract. This looks like more like a minor league deal. He'll end with around 2,500 hits and a career WAR of about 64.8, which is very, very good for a 16-year veteran at second base who won a Rookie of the Year, a batting title, 2 Silver Sluggers, and had 5 All-Stars, plus the 2 World Series in 2028 and 2035. I don't think Marte is going to get signed, so this is probably the end of him. And he just had a really, really weird career when you think about it. So he started off really slow. First 4 years, especially this first 3, it's strange. So didn't look very good when he came up. Had an insane season platooning in just the last part where he came in the last 2 months after an injury. Was very, very good. Not great. Decent. Now he's kind of an average guy. Looks like a core member of the team. And what the hell is this? And oh my God, he can still do it. And okay, I don't know where that guy just went. And then it was just kind of that and averaged out of the career. I mean, because of those few seasons, he ended up getting a 63 WAR career. But it was basically just these 2 seasons. These two, my bad. And then beyond that, nothing. 4-time All-Star, 1-time Gold Glove, 3-time Silver Slugger, All-Star MVP batting title, and a home run champion. He had to be roiding. He had to be on roids in 29 and 30. And then, or maybe there was juiced balls in Cincinnati and we were cheating. Because I don't understand how that ended up being like that. And the Reds are contending again, so they went out and signed the shortstop and everything, and Elly's a 67 overall, and while they have him under contract, I don't feel like forcing them to play him anymore. 569 career home runs, 599 career doubles, 2,600 hits, career average of 285. He's going to end up with a career 95 WAR, 5 straight MVPs, 5 straight Hank Aaron's, 3-time home run champ, the only one of that stretch being broken by his teammate Mlbtheshow Marte, and a 9-time All-Star and an 8-time Silver Slugger. He was a bat. He was fast. How many career steals did he have? I don't even really look. 371 career steals, also very good, and 137 career triples, including this insane season in 2031, where he had 16. He had 17 in 2027. So he had a lot of stretches with a lot of triples. I think his best season is probably this 2029 season right here with the 63 home runs, 43 doubles, 10 triples. But I also really, really like this first MVP season with the 17 triples as well. He gets probably a little bit more counting stats if he plays all 162 in this game and this season. But 2029 is his best year. 5 or 6 straight seasons with 1.0 OPSs. He was a 5-time MVP in a row. So he had that runner-up with 39-39. Wasn't in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think he was 3rd in the MVP in 2031. Then I saw him 2nd in 2033, I think. So he was very good for a very long time. And that's a Hall of Fame career, I think, for Elly De La Cruz. And while I know I could probably force him to play a little bit longer, see if we can get him to 3,000 hits, 600 home runs, we're not going to do that. This team is still just too good at this point. Gary Bright is still very, very good. He won an MVP in 2036. And while I would sometimes watch him play it out, I don't think that was the focus for this video. We were focused on the core of Elly, Marte, and everybody. We had a couple guys get 60+ WAR in that group. I mean, look, Bright was 60+ WAR. Elly had 95. Marte had 63. India had 60+. The only guys that didn't were like McLean fell off the map. I didn't even see when he retired. He was so bad so quickly. And then Encarnacion, we obviously traded away right away. Klassen with 400 saves. Let's just take a look at Sonoya because he was a big piece of this. Ends up with 1,900 hits. Probably could get up to 2,000 if he plays this season as the platoon bat. 369 on base percentage. What's his WAR at? 70 WAR. So might have even been more valuable as a trade piece. This is the guy on the Marlins that is like in their system right now that I think is really, really interesting. So yeah, I think that'll do it. Two World Series, probably a Hall of Famer, maybe one, maybe more than one, but I think you're probably only getting one Hall of Famer from this group, with it being Elly. Probably Hunter Green gets it. Clase probably gets it. James Wood might too. I can't remember where he just went. I think probably to the Yankees. Everybody goes to the Yankees? Yeah, he does. Yeah, not really a Hall of Famer. But yeah, maybe he will end up being. Still got a couple years to get some stats. Maybe a couple more World Series on this team, but not much longer. Maybe 2 more good years out of him. So that'll be it. I hope that you enjoyed this, as well as the little extended period here where we actually took a look at how everybody ended up doing for their career. I want to thank you very much for coming along, watching, as I think that within this strategy that we took, the power pitching, as well as keeping this core together, there was the one element that worked was keeping the core together. I don't think the power pitching strategy worked very well. While we found a lot of guys that were interesting, they did not perform at the level we wanted them to perform at, even if we had the best power pitchers possible. Obviously, Emmanuel Clase did that. You got that from Hunter Green. Chase Burns did eventually win a Cy Young with the White Sox, but he was horrible with us. Pretty much every pitcher was horrible except for Hunter Green with us, and he wasn't even that great. So the pitching, not necessarily the most optimal strategy. I'm curious how much we would have won if we didn't follow and put that requirement on it, but also it might have just been too easy at that point. This team was competitive for how many years after, despite me taking my hands off the wheel and giving horrible pitching as what the team had to work with. So I guess a success in that sense. We did what we needed to do. We won a World Series. We did a great job for Elly, made him a Hall of Famer. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you very much for watching, and adios.
Go home, get drunk, go sleep, wake up, move on, and get another one to run it up. Go home, get drunk, go sleep, wake up.